Right, dress for the job you want, not the one you got, brah.
That's why I don't wear any clothes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get into this OnlyFans game. It's failing horribly right now.
Hashtagged up, bro.
I've been paid $12 to put my clothes back on. And
Well, welcome back to Stormwater Creek. Today's shit show brought to you by Tahwahkaro.
Nice.
nice job. He's so professional.
That's it. There's
Who, him?
Done.
Yeah,
Or
him.
Jason.
Well, I mean, I don't even think that needs to be mentioned.
Yeah,
Jason's
obviously
the most
he is.
professional out of all of us.
I wasn't
Professional.
going to give him any
No,
credit.
no. I
So-
just cook corn. That's all I do.
Like
Corn. That's
our guest today is Jason from Tahwahkaro Distilling up here in Grapevine, Texas. Probably going to talk about whiskey that we're drinking that he
Grapevine?
made. And
Grapevine?
we're going to talk about
and
Colorado
there goes
hunting
the
probably.
professional.
Yep.
Probably going to talk about shooting pigs.
Yep.
Probably going to talk about jug fishing.
Yep.
You're into that? I mean,
I see you have a
whatever else.
tailwaters hat on, so
Yeah.
are you a fly fisherman as well? No?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's friends. He knows Sean and them, and they have their whiskey
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. I was super stoked whenever they
Yeah.
posted up on the socials that they had y'all's whiskey, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I,
not listening.
Yeah. I'm a fly fisherman. I can fly fish. I'm not a fly fisherman.
Not
per se.
avid.
Oh, I mean,
I would never call myself a fly
Yeah.
fisherman.
Yeah,
I have a fly rod, and
He
I
owns
have
a fly rod.
I've tied a few flies. I've gotten them wet in water,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Both of you have caught fish on flies.
Absolutely.
Give yourself some credit, gentlemen.
absolutely.
You both caught bass and panfish and
We're going to catch some redfish.
Okay, so yeah,
Ah.
then I would qualify too.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
I
not-
know a
if that-
lot of really good fly
Yeah.
fishermen.
I was talking
from
to
Colorado
I was talking to a
days.
fly fisherman the other day, and he was talking about like double hauling, and I'm like, is that where you like have like 2 trailers on a truck, or? He's like, no, it's not.
Not even
Fish
close.
big?
So I have to
Bonito
go.
fish big? Yeah, he was like, I was like, I don't even know what that means. I was like, I can get about 20 yards, maybe 30. I could probably cast 30 yards right now. How far
Yeah,
can you
You
cast?
think?
I bet 30 is my limit.
Yeah, I could
Oh.
probably hunk something out there 30 yards.
That's a ways.
So
That's what I was thinking.
That's
So-
like max for me, bow.
I-
Because I want to hit. I want to know it's going where I say it's
Absolutely.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably cast further than I would feel comfortable shooting a perfect shot.
yeah,
on
But
my
I
no
bow.
think,
doubt.
okay,
I would
but
agree
there's
with
also
that.
two different things there. Hucking a fly or lure whatever out that far is different than putting it in a hula hoop out at 30 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's
Good
distinct.
point.
I could probably figure out how to cast a fly rod out 30 yards.
We
Muscle it.
In any direction
it.
it
Fly rod
may
challenge.
go. Yeah.
Behind
Fly
you.
rod
Rod challenge this weekend.
Yes.
So,
Fly rod
but where,
challenge.
yeah, putting it where I want it to go, no chance at all.
Yeah.
My,
It's like golf.
I could,
yeah, exactly.
I could hit a hula hoop at 30 yards.
You can?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's the.
There's
Bet
no
you I could throw a
That's a-
football over them mountains.
100%.
If you just
Yeah.
put me in.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Consistency is where I'm at for that. Like I could definitely do it,
Yeah.
but
no.
then every now and then I definitely have one off, and then every once in a while I can cast out like real far, and everything feels like like when you do anything. You
connect.
Yeah, everything
got
feels
one that just,
right.
like,
Like you're just like
yeah.
there it was. Like I stopped at the right point and brought it forward at the right point and let out my line at the right time and everything went fine. And then you're like, all right, I just need to do that again. And then like all of a sudden like you go and you get caught in a tree behind you and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, there goes that.
There
Hit
goes
yourself in
that.
the back of the head.
Yeah.
Just
Now
get
I
a
gotta
big
retie
knot.
it all
Yeah,
and-
you're just like,
10 feet off the
Yeah.
ground. I'm not going to
Yeah.
get that
I
one.
like my
Now I
bait
need a whole
caster.
new leader.
My
Yeah.
bait caster
Yeah.
works really well.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
We're done.
That made it
we missed
perfect.
twice.
Y'all know the secret, right?
you gotta look at
Elbow.
the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did just then.
It's weird. My brother showed me that a
Yeah.
year ago. It's like,
I've never
that
heard
really
that. I
works.
was today
Stare at
years
the elbow.
old.
Really?
I learned
Stare
that.
at the elbow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The more you know.
For the high five. No, we're
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Cue the keyboards.
But then you got to get the Top Gun high five where you
Yeah.
connect at the bottom end.
You gotta. What was that?
I miss Goose.
Yeah, me
Was
too.
that Predator
He
when
was
it was
cool.
like the ultimate like bro hand fist thing with
Maybe.
the muscles?
Oh, yeah, dude. What's the
Yeah.
matter, Bennett? Been pushing too many pencils.
So, yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
See? You're going to fit in perfect.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the best line of that whole movie.
No doubt.
Almost. Jesse Ventura's was pretty epic, too, but
Oh, gee.
pushing too many
That's
pencils.
another one we need to do movie review of.
That is absolutely
Predator.
Oh,
Predator.
dude.
We plan
Yep.
to do a couple movie reviews and sit right here and everybody stays here, and we just drink and drink and drink and do like a Mystery Science 3000 kind of deal, where we record it and just
Yeah, camera
tear
from
up a
behind.
movie.
Yeah.
That
And
would
just
be.
tear up a movie.
I'm in.
You have the open invite.
My thing is, I'd like to do it. You know how like Joe Rogan does the Fight Companion, where they have like move your screen to minute 32:01, and that will sync up with what they're saying because of a delay and everything. Then that's what we should do. Okay,
Okay.
we're hitting start now, and then you can watch Predator at home with us.
Awesome.
Totally.
Would be
Well,
ridiculous.
anywho, back on
Oh yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Jason,
Yes.
tell us your story. I know you had another distillery, have another distillery in Colorado. You can run through that and then get into Tahwahkaro and go wherever you want from there.
Sure. I'll do the what's the word?
The spiel.
Condensed sort of summary of
You
how
have all
I.
the time you want.
Cool.
Cliff notes.
Yeah. So coffee drinkers in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So coffee was the catalyst here, big time. So I walked into a little coffee shop in Colorado Springs, Colorado, in probably 2008, 2009, somewhere in there, and had fresh roasted coffee the first time ever in my life. I've been drinking Folgers and whatever else I
Yeah.
could get, for $6 or
Canned
$5.
coffee.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And it was just incredible. Just sitting there like, this is really good.
This is what it's
Yeah.
supposed to taste
Yeah,
like.
this is really good.
Yeah.
So I walked up to the counter. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to buy a pound." And she's like, "Okay, that'll be $14.50." I was like,
That's my yearly coffee budget.
"Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take a pound anyways." And went back and sat with a friend of mine. And after about 20 minutes, just kind of like, I'm curious as how they do this. I walked back up the counter. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, again. Can I get one of those machines right there that you're doing this whole thing on?" She started laughing like, "No, don't do that. That's ridiculous. These are $20,000. She said, "What you need to do is go down to the Ark or the Goodwill and buy one of those hot air popcorn machines, or you may have one laying around the house that has the butter dish on top." She goes, "Come back to me and buy green coffee beans for $6 a pound and then roast your own." I was like, "Okay."
I like projects.
So
Sure,
I
yeah.
literally went down to the Ark in Colorado Springs, and I spent $3 on a West Bend
Yeah.
popcorn machine. It's a real important. The kind that swirl are the best, not the kind that fluff. Like it'll be a jet of air coming out of the middle, but you want the swirler.
Okay.
And I bought 3 pounds of beans from her, and then just started roasting coffee, and completely changed my perspective on everything that I consumed. Everything. So Brazilian peaberry, any kind of Sumatran Java bean, and Ethiopian Farrar are kind of my blend. That's what I love to cook. I blend those in equal parts, 30 and 30 or 33, and that's my roast. So I spent the next, I don't even know, year just experimenting with different beans from all over the world, trying to kind of find what I liked. Definitely, if you do this, do it outside. Do not do it in the kitchen.
Just
Because there's a skin on a coffee bean that as it heats up and burns off, it'll fluff out and go everywhere into every crevice you can possibly imagine. You'll never get it out of your kitchen ever again. So just do it outside.
lessons learned.
So, and what she said, by the way, was put the green coffee beans in there and turn it on until blue smoke comes out. And that literally is a thing. It's blue. It's like a hue, kind of a gray-blue smoke.
Like oil burning.
And they
on a
turn,
truck. Yeah.
they turn like a real heavy sheen, like a milk chocolate, kind of dark chocolate color. And you're done. Put it in a steel colander. Let it sit overnight. That's it. Fresh roasted coffee.
Steel specific colander.
Yeah, I mean it's hot when it comes to, so it'll melt the
Okay,
plastic one.
sure.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
But
It'll,
it needs to be inert, so not like clay or anything, or
nah.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Just
mean,
'cause
I
it's
had
there.
just stuff there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it completely changed my perspective on everything. So that literally led into greenhouses, chickens, killing all my own meat, catching all my own fish. I probably at the time was the lone cat fisherman in all of Colorado.
Yeah.
I was raised kind of white bass fishing and catching catfish with my dad, and so I never really got into kind of the whole trout fishing
Trout.
scene. Really,
Yeah.
I love to eat trout. Trout sushi is delicious. I love all of it, but I'm more of I'd rather go catch it and consume it than not for the time spent. So I started catching my own fish and all of that. I was really trying to stay out of the grocery store for a few years. Simultaneously, all along in that same vein, I'm a triathlete guy, so I don't really race anymore, but
Yeah,
I love to
me
train.
neither.
Yeah.
You gave it up as well, man.
I did for a little while. I did
Clearly.
a couple sprint tries and did some. I
Yeah,
did a lot
that's
of
what
running.
I
And,
was doing sprint and Olympic.
yeah, I like food and like sitting on my ass. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
So, and along with that, I'm also a singer-songwriter guy. So I'm a guitar player and play a couple of other instruments. And I was playing around town quite often in Colorado Springs, and I had this buddy of mine I played music with, and for 2 years he chased me to drink a Jack and Coke. I'm like, nah, man, I'm a beer drinker. I love my wheat beers and I love the Colorado scene. I'm just a beer drinker. Finally, one night in Manitou Springs, just outside of Colorado Springs, we were at the Ancient Mariner, which is no longer there, playing a gig. I'm like, fine, I'll drink a Jack and Coke. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Turns out they're delicious. And I had no idea. It was the first experience with whiskey. And the big catalyst for that was we drank until probably 1 in the morning. I don't even remember. And
Hell yeah.
I went home, got up at about 5:30, so 4 hours of sleep, and did a 100-mile ride with a group of guys on a road bike. And I felt incredible. I literally felt incredible.
I can attest to that. Yeah,
And-
any night before a race or something, it's like, I got to go out and drink tonight.
Yep.
Like, I got to go out and take some shots of Jameson.
And it just completely treated me on another playing field entirely. So much better than drinking beer for, from 5 in the afternoon until 1 or 2 in the morning. And so it took me a couple of those episodes or those experiences to put the correlation together. And then I kind of turned off drinking beer as much as I was drinking whiskey. So then I started experimenting in whiskey and really trying all kinds of different bourbons and stuff from all over the world. And today, still, I've got my top 3 aftermarkets other than what I take home from the shop, which I don't really buy bourbon that much anymore. But Knob Creek, Turkey 101, and Old Granddad. If you're looking for a bargain bottle, you can't even touch those bourbons for just how good they are.
Turkey 101's so solid for the price.
It is, man.
Proof.
It's just an
We
unsung
talked about this before.
unsung hero as far as I'm concerned. Granddad too. Granddad 114 is incredible spirit for whatever it is, $20-something.
I have no idea what Granddad 114 is.
Yeah, Old Granddad. You'll see it on the bottom shelf or next to the bottom shelf.
Pretty
Literally
sure.
is Old Granddad. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
114 proof.
yeah. And they've got a lower one, a
I'm
bonded.
familiar with Old Crow. Is that similar?
It's better than Old Crow. A lot better than Old Crow.
It comes in a glass bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Out.
You know it's going to be good if it's in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
yep.
takes care of your trips and fallsies.
Trips and falsies. Oopsie.
Oopsies.
That's right.
Oopsies.
So I'm playing music one night at the Flying Horse Club in Colorado Springs, and I finished the song. I'm drinking Knob Creek neat. Bling. Finish the song, take a sip, and I look at that glass and I'm like, damn, I wonder if I could make this stuff. So I had all this coffee, hunt my own meat, all that experience behind me. That's even detergent, toothpaste,
Oh,
all
wow.
kinds of fun stuff. I had all that experience, and I literally just went home that night and started reading forums. And there were 2 forums at the time. One was, it was like Red Pill, Blue Pill, the Matrix.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do it, it's highly illegal. Or,
Eh.
you'll probably be okay. Just don't sell that out of your car.
Yeah.
Just don't start selling it, because that's what it's all about. It's about
Let's
taxes.
clarify what is.
Yeah.
Is it? Can you distill for private use?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No, you cannot. You can make beer and wine all day long, but
Yeah,
you
exactly.
cannot distill. You're not supposed to even. Actually, you can own all the distilling equipment that
can't.
you want, but you cannot turn it on to distill ethanol. Yeah.
Sure.
So there's a ton of distilling equipment out there, but I'm sure everyone just makes good water. So
Yeah, exactly.
or essential oils. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably
Whatever else they
Probably
need for their
essential oils.
household.
Definitely essential
yeah,
oils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer now.
I'm a
Right.
bit of a scientist
So
myself.
it's true. I went whatever direction I wanted and said, okay, this is cool. So I'd like to see some of this equipment up front and see what it looks like and make a decision. So I bought a 5-gallon stock pot and a stainless steel bowl and some automotive seal tape, and I made the column, just a little 1.5-inch column with a 1/2-inch tube inside of it, and that was my condenser. And I ran a 12-volt battery and a 6-gallon stock pot full of ice water and a marine bilge pump from Wally World on the stove for 12 hours once a week for a year.
How was your electric stove? Gas.
Gas.
Oh God.
Yeah. But
You're lucky
natural,
to
it
blow
was
your
natural
house
gas,
up.
so it wasn't. I mean, there's so many things
Yeah.
that I
So
cut my
the
teeth
open
on.
flame, electric would have been fairly safe.
Yeah.
Barely.
Right.
The open flame,
It's
if
just
if
like-
any of those seals break and the ethanol comes out, it's a bomb.
Yeah.
The
So-
meth lab down the street.
I can't even tell you how many times I had like fermenters blow up on the carpet in the living room because it got too hot or was too active, or I would wake up in the middle of the night, the still's running out in the kitchen. to check this
Shit.
thing. Okay, it didn't overflow, or
Yeah.
it was a year of that. And my main partner in Axe on the Oak now, Casey Ross, was always coming to the house. He's kind of my gearhead buddy, and we always wanted to do business together, so he was hanging out a lot at the house. We then pooled a little money and moved up to a 15-gallon system, which literally ran like a Ferrari. Then we took the whole thing to the garage and started cooking corn down there. So the little system would make a pint of liquor like this much in 12 hours of kind of the hearts, like
Sure.
a drip a second. One, about maybe not even that fast. I mean,
Yeah,
it was just minuscule. This one, the other one would make about a gallon in about 6 to 8 hours. So
wow.
it was awesome. So, along with all the lone cat fishermen in the state, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of others, I'm sure, but I was always chasing good Colorado cats. We would do fish fries all the time. So, because no one really does it up there. There's not many fish fry
all
parties.
trout.
Yeah, it is. And so we were always having fun. And one day in the basement, I had a bunch of little jars. I wasn't even using barrels. I was oak chipping and going to the brew shop and buying oak chips and kind of coloring it that way. And in fact, one of the early recipes on the forums was fill it with kind of a medium toast and a heavy toast, a handful of each in a half-gallon mason jar. And if you want to emulate like a sherry or port barrel, throw a dried apricot in the bottom of that. And that'll kick in a little bit of fruit flavor, and it was delicious whiskey. So just experimenting with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So 3 of us in the basement one day are sipping this stuff, and all my buddies are kind of like, this is good. We should talk about this. Go forward about another month, and the same guy, this is the full circle piece, which I love. Jason Miller's his name, and he's kind of my big brother in music. He was the guy that was like, you need to try a Jack and Coke for that couple of years.
Okay.
Really awesome guy. Actually, he's moving to Texas in October, so New Texan down to New Braunfels. We're going to do some music together. It's going to be fun. I'll take him on his first pig hunt. He's never hunted pig.
Rad.
So it's going to
You
be
got a
really,
place, you let us
really
know.
fun. Yeah, man, it's going to be really fun. But big dude, like 6'5", kind of played Notre Dame tight end, football player from Indiana. Just an awesome dude. And kind of my big brother. He always really pushed me in music to kind of do my own thing and get out there. And so we're sitting on the porch one night playing music after I was making all this stuff, and I brought out a bottle. Hey, man, try this. And quote, Jackson, you're onto something here. This is really good. And I was like, really? Thanks, man. I appreciate that a lot. And he goes, yeah, I'm serious. This is really good. I wouldn't bullshit you. I'm like, okay, cool. And so couple that experience within my Casey and my other buddy, Eric and Scott at the time, and we all looked at the market and were like, man, there's one more distillery in the Springs. This makes sense. Let's see if we could do something here. And so we opened Axe on the Oak in 2013, and still going strong today. Actually, way strong today. And so fast forward, so that brand, we won a ton of medals, and it's just a blast. And I have such an incredible group of people around me that Casey, the main guy, kind of got the reins of the company and holding. I moved away from head distiller prior to moving here. So back to fast forward a couple of years, my little brother lives in Grapevine, hits me up out of the blue one day. Hey, man, I'm looking for a change of career. Building furniture is not really that much fun. Do you think we could do something on distilling? And I'm like, yeah, we can do something. I got a playbook for that. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so, again, look at the numbers. Starting out, 5 million people in Colorado, 99 distilleries, 27 million people in Texas, 99 distilleries.
Yeah.
This is easy math.
Yeah.
Really easy math. Combined with the patriotism for Texas, and everyone loves a Texas product. And it
Nobody
was
loves
just
Texas more than Texas.
that's very true.
For
man.
sure.
What was that meme you sent the other day?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody say something that doesn't have a state named after toast? Toast after it? What is it?
Yeah.
Forget what it is.
Somebody says something bad about Texas, the response was, I'm sorry, did someone say something who doesn't live in a state that has toast named after it?
Doesn't have its own toast.
Yeah, it doesn't have its own toast.
Yeah.
But
So it just made a ton of sense. So we opened Tahwahkaro Distilling Company in Grapevine in 2016, and then go forward another year, and he hits me up like, hey, man, I need some help. And I said, okay, well, I'm sick of being cold. So I had done everything that Colorado offered. I killed a couple of elk, rock climbed, skied my legs off for an entire season in Winter Park, 126 days that year. I know what to do on that. Snowboarded, kayaked. I mean, everything that Colorado had to offer, I've done. And so I really was tired of being cold 9 months of the year. And looking forward to getting on the water all year long, hunting, of course, year-round as opposed to 10 or 12 days. If you kill one, then your year's over. You don't go back out. So, yeah, it made a ton of sense. So moved to Texas in late 2000. What year are we in? 2017. So I'm 2.5 years deep, a little bit more. Love it. 2 days after driving the truck into the house, launched the boat. I went to Grapevine, and I'm jug fisherman and trot line, and caught the biggest catfish I'd ever held in my life. Yep. And my record was a Colorado catfish out of a little, you guys would call it a tank, but to us it was a pond.
Oh.
Kind of a big pond.
yeah.
The words are
Tank.
interchangeable.
Very
yeah.
interchangeable.
Yeah, but there's not much water in Colorado.
Yeah.
So it was just a little East Plains. I caught like a 22, maybe 23-pound channel cat out of that little pond. It probably would have been a state record now if I really think about it, because there's not many big channel cat.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, this was about a 25-pound blue the second day after I rolled into the state.
Hell
So
yeah.
I'm like,
It's an omen.
it's so good to be home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is
So,
I'm not from Texas, but I got here as quickly as I
oh
could.
man, that's really going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love it. I love the heat. I love the sweat. I love.
Every time I talk to people up north, and they're like, I can't even deal with not having seasons, and I don't even know how you deal with the heat. And I always tell them, I never have to wake up early and shovel heat. Never have to scrape it off my windshield.
The
nice.
the one that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, because we had a storm blow in on our place. We were on 40 acres in Calhoun, Colorado, kind of eastern plains, so short grass prairie, no trees, no anything. But I had some dirt, horses and pigs and the whole chickens, the whole thing. And we had a storm blow in so hard one night up there that it actually bent over an 1.5-inch galvanized pipe on a fence.
Holy crap.
With just chain link on it. It didn't even wallow out the hole. It just bent it over. And snow blew so hard that I opened up the hood of the Suburban, and there was the perfect imprint of the underside of the hood in the engine bay.
This is full of snow.
It had filled every single crevice in the front end. Everything on that truck was completely packed full of snow. It took me 3 days just to get it thawed out with just rolling it, pushing it all packed into the garage and putting heaters under. It still didn't start for 3 days. And I was just like, that's it.
I'm done.
I am done. I want to go someplace warm. I love it up there, but I just wanted to be someplace where I could
Cool to
enjoy.
go up for like a week, come back home.
Colorado's
Right.
fun to visit. Yeah.
I
Love
could
visiting.
enjoy the outside all year long. So Texas is just so easy for that.
Did you feel like a rock star when you got down here just because the air is so much thicker?
Oh,
You're just like,
You're like, yeah, I'll go run 50 miles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God.
yeah, easy. Yeah, really easy.
Oxygen high, pretty
In
much.
fact,
Yeah.
for the first year, I was actually running in August. I was doing like an hour and 45-minute runs at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in 100-degree weather, and people are like,
Yeah, you're a madman.
"What?
Yeah,
Are you
insane.
kidding?"
I'd never do
I'm
that.
like, but once you start sweating that much water, you kind of cool yourself
Yeah, it's-
anyways, and so just don't run in the direct sun, and it's 10 degrees cooler or so. But
100%.
yeah, man, I love it here. I really do. The people are incredible. One of my most profound experiences with people in Texas was we were fishing down from where we first lived, right on Grapevine Lake, and this lady rolls around the corner. Me and the boys are off the street. Just pulls up. Never met her. Never seen this car ever in my life. Hey, what y'all doing? Like, just fishing for catfish. Well, you know what? My boathouse has a really good cove. If you want to ever come over there and fish my place, you just hit me up. I live right there. I'm like,
Texas.
that
Okay.
is so awesome. It is so awesome. Just that spirit of like, who's this? I want to find out what they're doing, find out what they're about, and I want to talk to them. And I
Hey,
love
you
it.
seem all right. Why don't you come check this out with me?
It-
Yeah.
That was the first meeting. You know, that's something I hold very close, and that's all about. That's who I am. I love meeting new people and
Yeah.
shaking hands and looking people in the eye and saying, "Hey, what's up? What are you about? You know,
Yeah,
tell
what's-
me.
what's your deal?"
Let's talk."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it here. I have one complaint. I have one little tiny complaint, and it's the way Texans drive. Oh my God,
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
it is incredible to me. In
very-
fact,
Oh, wait till you get far south Texas.
I want to tell everybody who
Valley,
listens to
it's
this:
even worse.
when you
Yeah.
go to Colorado, don't drive like you do in Dallas, and then people won't be mad at you. It's really an easy equation. Just don't do it. So that's
Yeah,
the
so-
only thing that I'm getting used to. I'm really learning to tone it down because I had a 50-mile commute, you know, in the eastern plains of Colorado, and nobody's in a hurry out there.
Yeah.
So I was kind of trained on that, and it's just a different animal to me. So y'all, if you see
Everybody's
that
in a hurry
one
here.
really, really slow car in the right lane, just kind of
Hey, man.
toting along.
As long as you're in the
You're in
right
the right
lane,
lane?
dude.
Yeah,
You're
Hey,
good.
That's
Yeah,
me.
as long
No,
as you're in the right lane.
and I'm not that guy. I'm not going to take up everyone's time.
That's
Like,
my problem.
just
Exactly.
be careful though with like 6-inch buzz. You know,
Yeah, no,
when
I'm not doing
there's
any of
a
that.
free lane and you could move over
Yeah.
way
That-
back. Like, don't
it-
put me in jeopardy. That's where I struggle with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't like that either.
Yeah.
And I've lived here my whole life. I've been born
Yeah.
here. Like,
Well, it's
I don't know where
easy
that
to
came
get a
from.
driver's license here.
yeah.
Maybe
and
so.
to be even from working at the tattoo shop, like I did piercings for 12 years. I mean, I'd say 30% of the customers that came in with their car keys in their hands handed me an ID, not a driver's license. Like, they're not licensed to drive; they're just on the road. So,
That makes sense.
yeah,
Again, it's not really a complaint. I just
That's-
like it for
Oh, I get it.
conversation.
It's a complaint. Yeah.
I complain
It-
about it.
it
Texas
is
drivers
fun.
are terrible.
Yeah, it's actually helped me to like, you know, take a breath and
Try to get a
calm
little zen
down.
while you're driving.
Yeah. Okay, it's not that big a deal. Maybe he has somewhere really important to go. You know.
No, no one has anywhere.
No,
to
I get
go.
angry.
They're going to
I,
Whataburger.
dr- I drive fast.
That's what they're doing.
Walmart.
Walmart or
But
Whataburger.
just the word of advice: when you go to Colorado, take it easy, and they won't. Colorado. That's the one thing that everyone said to me. Oh, yeah, we don't like people that come up from down there, and that's not the case. Texans are awesome.
Yeah.
It's just the first experience is some guy 4 inches off
Yeah.
your bumper.
Some giant truck.
With Texas
That
license
had,
plates.
I was coming
It's
back from
very
Oklahoma.
true, man.
Yeah.
Super true.
sure.
Yeah.
Old
So,
timer was in his RV.
my only advice.
just cruising
That's
the
all I
left
get.
lane, and I was like, I gave him like, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes of just doing like 65 in the left lane. It's like, nope. I got on his ass, and he finally figured it out. And he got so frustrated or flustered with me that he just started getting over it and didn't check his right lane when someone was there. So he must ran someone off the road, and he's getting mad at me. And it's like, dude, you're old enough to know. Like, don't
Yeah,
get
just-
in the left lane and do 65. Like,
Absolutely.
run 35.
Like-
the speed limit's 75.
And I think,
here.
like Abe said, yeah, Texans probably drive pretty aggressively.
They do.
Yeah.
But if you're in the right lane, cool, man, do whatever you want.
I don't
do
care.
whatever
Right.
you want. Yeah, you're in the left
If
lane.
when I'm pulling a trailer with side by side or the boat or something, I'm usually doing the speed limit, and that's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It kills gas mileage. You've got a liability strapped onto you,
Big time.
but I don't hang out in the left lane.
Right.
Yeah, I'm never in the left lane.
No.
I have anxiety when I'm in the left lane and somebody's coming up behind me. If I don't care how fast
I
I'm
agree.
going,
I'm adamant about it. I'll
I've got to
get
get over.
I'll get over.
Absolutely.
Get over.
So
yeah.
I can attest to that. I'll go the other direction. So in Colorado, tons of RV people.
Yeah.
And they'll get on a little mountain road with plenty of pull-off spots and drive 40
Yeah.
for 20 miles.
Yeah.
And there'll be a line of traffic behind these guys for
Oh yeah.
like 5 miles. I mean, that's an
If I
exaggeration.
can't
but
do
a
anything,
long,
I can't go any faster.
I don't know what he wants me to do, Linda.
Susan, he's yelling at
Pull
me.
over any further.
So
I'm
we-
rolling all the way over.
So we have it
You
there
can't pull over
too.
any further, sir.
We have it there too. So I'd say the same to anybody in
Yeah.
Colorado. Like, don't get the RV and get in the left lane in Texas. You're going to get run off the road.
I
you
feel
know?
like assholes exist everywhere.
I totally
and,
agree. Yeah.
you know,
They do.
everybody's got their own flavor.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
One hundo.
Great call. Yeah. But I love it here. I
Welcome
really
to
do.
Stormwater Creek.
Yeah. I love it. Love it here. it's so much fun to be outdoors on any day that I want to be outdoors, or be on the water any day that I want to be on the water.
That's nice to hear, though.
The
from
seasons.
The guy who's
You have
moved here. That's cool.
about
Oh,
8
yeah.
days of winter. You know.
It's the best, man.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it is. It's just, I love the people, I love the experiences, and I also like that there's a little bit of, I'm a quick draw guy too, so
Yeah.
I watched Tombstone one time.
Yes.
Literally went out and bought Ruger Vaquero 45 long Colt like
Nice.
a week later,
Hell
and
yes.
and started quick drawing.
I'm your Huckleberry.
And there is that little there's that little I don't know, whatever you'd call it, but just in people, I love the idea that so many people have just the sand, whatever you want to call it. They walk right up to you, shake your hand, look you right in the eye, and kind of size you up. And I get into that shit, man. I like that. That's badass. That's man to man right there. And so I appreciate I appreciate that about Texas more than anything. It's just people they want to
get
know
it.
what's up.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
it's why it's such a cool place to be. It's because I have a quote from a friend of mine, Kelly Sparks in East Texas, big, huge red beard. He's like, man, Texans are the nicest people in the world. We'll do anything for you, but we'll also punch you in the mouth.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I
agree with that.
that is me all day
Yeah.
long. That is the way it should be. Like,
Absolutely.
call it what it is. Be cool, and when it's not time to not be cool, then
Hey.
deal with it.
Yep.
And deal with it, you know.
Well,
And
well.
then you'll probably end up shaking hands after the deal anyways, and be like, "Let me help you up," you know. So
Learn your lesson. Now let's go
Right.
get a beer.
right,
Yeah,
man.
we put this to bed, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Yep.
Yes.
So that's what I'm
I
about.
can't stop thinking about Tombstone now.
It's a great movie. Wonderful.
All the
When
cool-
they come
all-
to disarm you.
Say when.
What, Johnny Mac? I apologize. I forgot you were there.
Here we go.
But Johnny Ringo, it looked like somebody just walked over your grave. Yeah, that's a great movie.
It was a great film.
So good.
Great film.
I'm in a big Western
Fights
kick
commence.
right now.
Get to fighting or get out of the way.
Have you seen Silverado?
I have not.
Watch Silverado.
Okay.
So Kevin Costner is
Greatest cowboy actor
This
ever?
is a movie that they didn't. There's no special effects. So when you watch that guy pull metal,
He's pulling.
it's not a joke. He's fast. Now again, hitting something at that speed
Sure.
too, but he's really
He got
really
the-
fast. Gene Hackman, another big quick draw guy, really really fast. Randy Travis, of course, quick draw master.
Interesting.
Val Kilmer, yeah. When you really see pull leather, these guys do
They
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's-
did Val
it's fun.
Kilmer, did he do all his own draws in Tombstone? Hard to say.
You know, I don't. Now thinking about the scenes that he does draw, I'm not certain on that.
Yeah.
I know that the one when they're in the OK Corral and he's thumbing as he's ducking and shooting in the window, he's thumbing right there. That's really him. So that's a certain amount of hand strength right there just
Yeah.
to get a gun going that quick with your thumb.
The
So
only thing that bugs me about that scene is it Sam Elliott's character? He's holding that double-barreled shotgun. Oh no, it's Val Kilmer. He's holding that
Yeah.
double-barreled shotgun, and he shoots once in the air to get the horse to move, and then he somehow still has 2 shells in that double-barreled shotgun and shoots homie twice.
he
That
reloaded real
always-
quick, maybe.
yeah. Like movie magic, because they were pretty accurate in the whole movie. But that's
Yeah.
the one thing that always stuck out to me. It's like,
That's true.
I never pay attention to that stuff in movies.
Oh,
For-
oh,
for-
I do
for-
bad.
real bad.
No, I do it on purpose.
So
like I
bad.
make sure to like ignore that.
Yeah, just
Because I had a friend I used to argue with all the time that he would always be like, "That movie's terrible because like they never reloaded and
This is
you
why
know
John
like
Wick is
like
so
they-
cool.
yeah like
I agree.
John Wick
Yeah.
is so cool because it's like, oh,
I'm
this
with you,
dude,
man.
hey, here's 9 bullets. You know, it's like, okay, cool. You got 9 bullets in that gun. Oh, he's got to get another gun. Oh, these mags don't fit up because he's different kinds of guns. Find the different one. Like,
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
real.
Yeah. it's cool shit.
You remember in Heat, Val Kilmer's
Yes.
mag change? They use that mag change for, I believe, Army training, I've been told, and anybody can email us and tell me I'm dumb. But that's what I've heard, is that mag change, the sequence is 100% correct.
Yeah.
When he's on this, with the AR, when he's on the street.
God, another one that I forgot. It's great.
Dude,
great
he-
shootout season.
That's a real blank gun battle.
Yeah,
they didn't edit
they didn't
any
edit
sound
the-
of that.
yeah.
That's a real gun
Michael Mann
battle
didn't
in
wanna
the
edit the audio
downtown
at all.
scene. It's
great.
So awesome.
It's so good. So good. So good.
But it's
She's
just
got a
mag change.
great ass.
yeah. I've
Great
got to see.
movie.
I want to go see that one again too.
Another one.
So you guys want to talk about bourbon a little bit?
Yeah.
Always. Why don't you
I-
start talk about the name?
Yeah, I want-
Tahwahkaro, and then
because
talk
the
about
name is
bourbon.
cool.
Yeah.
What we were just drinking while we were talking about all this was the cask strength bourbon.
The 4-grain.
4-grain cask strength bourbon, and
Yes.
this bottle we were drinking was 132.6
Correct.
proof. So, but man, it did not drink like that. I mean, it had some cask strength burn, obviously, but it wasn't just a face melter, which that means quality in my book.
Thanks,
No,
sir.
knowing about the name, I think it's a super cool name. How did you come up with it? And
Finish it.
I
boy.
guess why? I guess is the question.
Yeah. It's a great
Like, how'd you land
So
on
right-
that one?
right
Like,
now,
names are
we-
always hard.
We
No
just
worries.
poured cask strength rye. No, this is regular rye.
You know, I actually don't know because there's no number on it. Hold on.
52.5%. So 114 and 104.
That's drinking a little bit more than the 105 to me. That's probably a cask strength. So, yes, how we came about it. So, my little brother, master distiller, head distiller, what do you want to call him? He has come up with all the recipes for Tahwahkaro. Originally, we've kind of gone through a couple of name changes. And going along with that Old West theme, same type of thing. He's kind of an Old West, loves the rough and tumble era. And we originally started out as Rifle Distillery because there were two things that people had on their horse, a rifle and a horse, and then a canteen back in the day to come west, settle the country. And so we really loved the name Rifle Distillery, kind of like Revolver Brewery, and but there's already a Rod and Rifle bourbon out there, so trademarks and stuff like that wasn't going to work. So then we started looking at history along Grapevine, Dallas-Fort Worth, and talking about back in kind of the mid-1800s, the 98th parallel was literally a line that was drawn north to south, and there was a line of forts along the 98th meridian. Yeah, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. West of there, pretty much good chance you're going to die. East of there was sort
At
of
the hands of a Comanche.
right, sort
Yeah.
of civilization. So then we were coming up with kind of ideas on the 98th parallel, and line 98 kind of stuck. And so we thought, okay, we really like that theme. You know, it's right here. Let's go with that. So then we just delved a little bit further into the local history and wanted something kind of tied to local grapevine, and up came Tahwahkaro Creek. And so Tahwahkaro Creek is now the name of Grapevine Creek.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, was the name of Grapevine Creek.
Right.
So back in 1843, it literally is 12 miles from the shop. You've been to the shop. So up in Capel, there's a little park called Grapevine Park. And right there in that park is a plaque where and an oak tree that Sam Houston camped under back in the day. And it was his favorite place to camp. There was also a pretty important spring source of water for people coming west. And so he started the Treaty of Bird's Fort pretty much right there with the 10 nations at the time, which really wasn't a treaty, but it was a symbolic treaty in 1843.
We're going to trick you into not killing us anymore.
Pretty much, which was 2 years prior to Texas becoming a state. So Sam Houston was the president of the republic, which actually owned a good portion of Colorado, actually where I lived, right up to kind of the edge of the Front Range. And so, and then that document kind of went around the state, but it started right there according to and again, I may be a little off there, but I know that was symbolic of the area. So
Yeah.
Tahwahkaro is also Caddo for Bend in the River.
Okay.
So the whole theme, number one for me, is my whole life. I mean, my brother and I have been in creeks and rivers and lakes and hunting and fishing, mostly fishing when we were young. And so it's a picture I can play in my mind really easy. You know, what's around that next bend in the creek? Or let's go up there. And also the metaphor for life. You know, everyone wants to know what's the next bend in the river. So we love the whole idea, the name. It's actually a name in the Caddo Indian is Bend in the River, kind of like Dances with Wolves. It wasn't really about the person. It was their name.
Yeah.
It was
And
a
so,
chief, right?
There's a Tahwahkaro chief, I'm sure. The Caddo chief at the time, I forget the guy. I don't remember who that was, but that's what the name actually meant in the Caddo. That was the name of that creek, was Tahwahkaro. So We tied it right to grapevine. Hence, I think on these labels, there's a little bunch of grapes at the top. So we get asked the question all the time: "Are you guys a winery?" Like, no, we're not. But it's just tying the name
An
back
homage.
into the
wine whiskey.
into the local history of grapevine. So Republic of Texas, peace treaty signed, and Bend in
Yeah.
the River.
That's
It's awesome.
That's the summary. Yeah.
You should check out our friend Ken Judge Wise. Was it Ken?
Ken
Or-
Wise.
Ken
Ken
Wise.
Wise.
Judge
Judge.
Wise.
He does
Judge
a
Ken
podcast
Wise.
that's
Wise about
Wise
Texas.
about
super
it.
deep. Wise about Texas. Super deep Texas history.
Yeah.
Deep,
Okay.
deep, deep.
That'd be awesome.
He's
Yeah.
an
He's
been on
awesome
the
follow on
He's
Instagram.
been on the podcast with us
Yeah.
before.
Okay.
Just super nice guy, and his knowledge is mind blowing.
Yeah, and Judge, if I misspoke, please hit me
No,
up
I
and correct
mean-
me. That'd be great to know,
We
so I
should
don't
have
do
him
it again.
on again. We should all.
Yeah.
You should
Yes.
join
Yeah.
us.
I
Love
bet.
to.
I
Sure.
bet he'd
It's
be
a-
down for drinking some whiskey with us.
Oh, I would
Oh,
definitely.
he's a wonderful talk
Yeah.
Yeah.
about everything you were just,
I
running
love the
over.
state, the history of our state, and just history of our country in general is just such a fascinating topic to
It's
me.
easy
you
to
know?
have pride in
man.
Texas.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
My mom did like our family tree years ago, and found old letters that generations ago that our family had written back home when they moved to Texas before it was a state, when it was like getting colonized and it was a settlement.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, I'm Texan, And then
Territory.
she got what is it? You can get like you're a daughter of the Republic of Texas thing.
Yep.
And so Steph's like, you should look into that. You can probably
You would be a good daughter of Texas.
I want to be. I want to be.
Gosh, I
What
read.
was
That's
it? You're
eight.
a boy daughter? Is that what you were? last night?
Sons of the Republic,
Yeah.
I think.
I read
boy
Empire.
daughter.
A
Boy
boy
daughter.
daughter.
Have you guys read Empire of the Summer Moon?
Oh
Yes.
yes.
There we go.
Yeah, we've all
So-
started it, and none of us finished it.
I finished it.
on
Yeah.
book on tape.
I finished. So
So
Whatever.
I've listened to all of it.
Good
When
for
I-
you.
I'm with
Good
you.
For you.
I've
When I
listened
got
to
here,
all of it as well.
I'm reading this book, and my first foray for the distillery was going to Austin, and then went to Houston down 45, and I was blown away at the topography and the different types of what's the word I'm looking for?
Geographic.
Climate.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Climates and ecosystems.
There were about seven,
and
seven
reading
or
this
nine in
book-
Texas.
7 in the state. Yep.
I mean, I don't remember the numbers of the amount of troops that were stationed here. It wasn't much, but you could take 5,000 people and go over a hill a mile away, and you would never, ever know that they were there, and you could ride right by them.
Yep.
With how much the trees could cover an entire thousands of people in one sitting. You would have no idea. And for the amount of territory that these guys were trying to cover just to combat the Comanches when they would do raids, I mean, no wonder it took so many years, because you could just get lost in the blink of an eye, and literally, you could even get on a big mesa and look out, and 5,000 people could be hiding in a gulch that's 30 feet deep,
Yeah,
and you
there's-
wouldn't see them.
yeah.
You wouldn't, just because it's so vast. I was just blown away at the different changes in Texas, and I'm still discovering like crazy. It's just a beautiful place.
Yeah,
so.
you start over East Texas,
Oh,
Louisiana
man.
border and drive all the way to El Paso.
Yeah,
I mean, what is it? 14 hours, 15 hours
yeah,
at
it
least.
is. Yeah.
And you're going to see everything from Great Plains to mountains to cedar swamps.
I got to tell you guys my first Texas experience. I lived in San Angelo when I was young. My dad's a Nazarene pastor, so we pastored a church in San Angelo, Texas, which is way west.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a blast. But after kind of all the whiskey making, and I have a buddy of mine that I play music with who is from Chandler, Texas. His name is Sky Young. His dad, Sam, and he's in Colorado Springs, and we're playing music. He's like, dude, you need to come Texas with me one time and see what it's all about. I'm like, all right, let's go. So we get down here, and the day that we arrive, we're going to a pig hunt. And I'd never hunted. I'd killed pigs in Florida way young, 20 years old, but never really hunted them serious. So the day we show up, he has a bunch of friends that have this 6-seater, big long ATV, UTV
Side-by-side
side by
type thing,
side.
Thing, yeah.
They've got LaRue Tactical 308s. They full blown have the military grade night vision goggles and thermal scopes.
Moons out, goons out.
What the hell are we doing?
So hold on, this is This is
just
after.
brought my
this
bolt
is,
action.
I drive in. We pull up, and this thing rolls out, and like, all right, let's go hunt pigs. We literally get in this vehicle. He's like, Jay, you're first. Whatever we see, you're first. We drive down a little lane on 300 acres in East Texas. Come around the corner by a power line, and this is 2 minutes in. This guy's like, there's one. And it's this 275-pound boar that
Nice.
I shoot right through the brisket. And I was like, I want to eat this thing. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to try it, man. I'm into wild meats. I want to see what's up. And so 2 minutes into my first hunt, I kill the biggest pig ever taken off this place. The very next morning, we get up and go to actually, we come out and hunt the next morning. Didn't have any luck. And then, like, let's see if the sand bass are running in the creek. We go down to the Neches River on his property, and I get into like 40 sand bass in
wow.
an hour. So I have this stringer of fish. Then we go shooting the power line like 450 yards. So we're doing long range shooting. Then after that, we hunt again, kill a couple more pigs that night. The next day, we go to Palestine and start running jugs. By the way, so the night that we kill the 2 more, we go to a buddy of mine's house to watch a football, or a new buddy of mine, watch a game, and like 12:30 night, drinking beer, like, hey, let's go run a trout line. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So
Whatever.
I like to do hood
Cool.
rat shit with my friends.
I've never been on Palestine. I've never been on it. So it's like a 17-foot long little aluminum boat. There's probably 8 of us on this boat.
Ugh.
No joke.
Been there.
We're hauling ass across the lake. There's a guy on the front end. We're hugging these power lines, these big concrete barriers, right? Because 10 yards outside of that are stumps. So the Corps cut these lanes along these power lines that you can run pretty flat out. But you get off and you're going to run into a tree. And that's just it. That's the lake. So I'm on the back corner of this boat on the balls of my feet, holding on, puckered to the nth degree. I mean, I'm thinking like, there's a guy on the front end with a spotlight. This is 12:30 at night.
Everybody's
Yelling.
got a belly full of beer.
And he's yelling, left,
Yeah.
right. And my buddy's just back there, like this is every day, like cruising along, top speed, little 40-horse motor.
Yeah.
And I'm just puckered out. I'm like,
I die tonight.
as soon
I
as
die
we
tonight.
hit,
We've had a great day.
I'm gonna.
I guess I've made my peace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump as soon as we hit whatever we're gonna hit, because I know
Yeah.
we're gonna hit something. I'm doing the springboard. I'm off. I'm gonna land in the water and at least swim. I'm a try guy. I can swim out of this one. So we run this line, come back the next morning. There's probably 20 fish on it, and then all during the day, we're fishing off the bank in like 1 foot of water with Danny King's. You guys ever seen Danny King's catfish bait? It's an East Texas thing. Just hook and channel cat left and right.
Okay.
The very next day, his dad is like this legendary crappie fisherman in East Texas. He fishes Athens like a super stud. And he lines up his holes by kind of like cruising across the lake and lining the tops of 2 houses together. And when they do this, then he cuts the motor, coasts in, and that's the spot. I'm literally hooking like
I like that.
2-pound
Just
slab
slabs.
crappie, just huge every single cast. I
Yeah.
mean, now I want take this, jig it. We're hooking fish left and right. So I leave Texas with all of this,
You're like,
It's like
experience.
Bot-
We're
bot-
calling
bot
Twi-
coolers.
I
twinkles
literally-
in your eyes. Like, here's
Bot- yeah,
it
your
was-
bot
paradise.
coolers just
It's not a joke, man. I had the treble hook in the face. It was the Texas treble hook. It was just buried in the gums. I mean, it was bad. And so ever since then, it kind of the cold and the wind started diminishing my appreciation for. I was like, man,
I can
wanna
drive
get-
up here and hunt.
I want to get down there. Yeah, that's right, man. I want to
You
get
get up
down
there
there.
and get that done.
I started looking at land, and then obviously opportunity with my little brother came up, and so I was like, this is it. So all my partners, by the way, were super supportive to come for me to be up here, and we were launching Axe in the Oak in Texas, and then I was able to move from distiller to brand ambassador for that brand, and the two don't really compete anyways.
Yeah.
So it was just a really good scenario for me to be here. So that was my first experience
It's a hell of an
in the
experience.
state of Texas. It was awesome. It was really
Definitely
awesome.
a hell of an experience.
Yep, it was fun.
Yeah, I've fished Lake Palestine and just murdered crappie on it.
Yep.
It was just every single
Yeah.
minute. It was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
My grandfather. We talk about all this now and we've gotten so into this in my well into adulthood. As a kid, my grandfather lived on Palestine, like on the water. I remember going there a few times, and we jet skied once, and he had a trot line off his dock. That's the extent of it.
Yeah.
And now, after so many years of researching and talking to people, like, we wasted it.
Yeah.
Wasted this.
Yeah.
It's a cool scene over there, man. It is a cool scene. I like it. Yeah.
Is that where we should have gone this summer then? We all had crappie fever.
I mean, I
He
could have.
said it 2 or 3 times.
I was
When?
During
multiple
our chats
times.
of trying
Yeah,
to
he-
The problem was that we were like, let's bring 8 people. You can't do that.
He's only got the
Yeah.
guide we wanted to use only took like
I was like,
3.
The 3 of us could go.
No,
And
I think I emailed that guy.
No, you did not.
I emailed a couple guides.
You did not email this guy. He knows this guy. We talked about this guy. We put him on the back burner because we wanted to take a bunch of people, and he does not do that.
Because I talked to him and was like, hey, do you have spots? He's like,
Who's in
yeah,
charge
come on.
here?
That's stupid. You're not in charge at all.
Look at me. Look at me. I am
He's
the captain.
You're the other helper. Sorry, it sucks to be us, okay?
You know
the way
that
it goes.
guy in James Bond who throws his hat and like puffs it? I'm gonna throw this crock at your face.
What is that
Chancla.
guy's name?
That's a chunk of, yeah.
No, this is
Mr.
not.
Chew or Mr. Fang?
Odd job.
Odd
No,
job.
that's the dude with the jaws.
Random
or is
job.
his name Jaws?
I think
Jaws
Jaws
is
is
Jaws
Jaws.
is
Random
Jaws.
job.
It's
Random.
odd job. It's odd
That's
job.
not Austin Powers. And he throws a shoe.
He
Who
does.
throws a shoe? Honestly. That really hurts.
Another good movie Will Ferrell was in.
Really?
I'm not dead.
I'm not dead yet. I'm just really badly burned.
Very badly burned.
Oh, thank God.
Ow, you shot me.
You shot me. Really
Genius.
underrated role in that movie and the sequel.
Yeah.
I'll never forget seeing the second one when they go back in time and all of a sudden Mustafa comes out in the, Will Ferrell in the
Yes.
car chasing him like, ah.
I think both my arms are broken. Perhaps my legs. Let me stand up. Ah! That one's broken too.
Starting to smell like almonds.
Almonds.
It kind of smells like almonds.
Oh.
Yes.
God,
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh.
So good.
It's good.
Yep. Oh, back to the bourbon real quick. 4 grand. So
Yeah.
I feel like I've been talking a lot, so I'm
You
Oh,
too.
no.
Yeah.
No.
That's
why
the
we
point
had
of
you
this.
on.
People
Right.
don't
People
want to hear.
listen. People have listened to us
They
for
do not wanna hear
112
us talk.
episodes. Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
idea.
Normally our podcasts are the 4 of us yelling at each other and just trying to figure out who's
Saying
the
this is our
dumbest
last
person.
episode ever. We hate each other.
Yeah. Why do I even come over here anymore?
I love you guys.
I do too.
awesome.
Anywho.
You shut up.
Anywho.
When you talk to
So
me like that.
I give all the props here to my little brother. I obviously had distilling experience with Axe on the Oak. Me and Justin are both high rye guys, so we love those turkeys, those Knob Creeks, that big spice of rye and that warmth of the corn, put it together. In the vein of trying to come to market with something a little bit different than the sea of vertical that you see when you go to the bourbon aisle and the very, very big sea of brown spirits that are all pretty much the same. We all follow federal regulations that dictate what we
Can and
how
can't
we
do.
use the word bourbon. So Justin came up with, so he and I are high rye guys. 2 of the other guys associated were weeded profiles. So BTAC, Buffalo Trace. All the Buffalo Trace products are weeded bourbons. I think all of them. No, somebody jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but a wheat profile. So instead of rye,
Take a
they're-
sip of coffee, sideburns. You're up.
the three
knows it.
the 3 grains are corn for a high rye and barley, and a wheated corn, wheat, and barley. So Justin just out of the blue is like, hey dude, what if we took what we would normally make 22-25% rye and we split that down the middle with wheat? I was like, hell yeah, let's try it. And one and done, man. One and done. So the mash bill on this is 68% corn, 11% rye, berry, 11% wheat, and then 13% of the malts. The malts are split right down the middle between barley malt and rye malt. Then we've got a 1% Cara Amber in that, which is more of a brewing malt.
Yeah.
But it adds a really good layer of complexity. So 4 grain. So after that experience, we started trying the White Dog, and it's just incredible. I mean, our White Dog is something you can drink just like we're drinking this. It doesn't French fry you. It's really, really good. It's got a very different flavor. So we took that. Now we've moved on to It's basically a 4-grain rye malt whiskey. What makes this one really special, still holding that 4-grain profile. Oh, and the sea of vertical, for those of you that have seen it, the bottle is patterned after an old canteen. So we, again, back to that time period where some really important things in life were a canteen and a rifle and a good horse to get west. So we patterned the bottle, so when you see us out there, it's got TAH across the front with Tahwahkaro through the H. And then, of course, all the other pertinent information. But it looks like an old canteen.
And you guys will definitely see some photos of these.
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll be
Yeah,
posting some of
absolutely.
this for
Appreciate
you.
that a bunch. So back to the rye. So same vein. We wanted to come to market with something just a little bit different than the traditional stuff. So this is a Texas rye malt whiskey. Now, does anybody know what a malted grain is?
Yes.
Anybody here?
I know about malt vinegar at Long John Silver's.
Okay.
I know
That's
about
the extent of.
malt liquor. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
okay.
saying? That's-
Colt
that's
45.
You know what a malted grain is, yeah. So malted
He's like,
But
grain.
explain.
He's like,
Yeah.
God, your friends are dumb, Austin.
Oh, Austin's
Austin
enjoying
knows
with us
it.
right
No,
now.
I'm gonna have
We-
another drink and pretend they don't exist.
we work in alcohol
We gonna pick
together.
up some
exactly.
photos
Yeah.
later, boy.
Yeah.
You and me, King
Oh,
Cobra.
Yeah, King Cobra, some old English. Let's do this. Speckled hen.
Austin and I get to work together.
Yeah.
So a
yeah,
malted grain,
just for everybody listening,
it's really
yeah.
simple. It's just a sprouted grain. So anytime you hear the word malt, it means that the grain has been sprouted. So single malt actually has a different designation or the meaning of it in the world. But we
So can I
went
ask
with
a really dumb question?
yeah.
So when you say sprouted,
Or Bonita
Sure.
Fish Big.
I mean it's been hydrated. and it's
so like
actually-
you're literally talking about like when a seed sprouts and has a little twig come
Yeah.
out of it.
It's actually hydrated 24 hours and
Yep.
they let it grow.
So
I just-
there's science behind it if you care.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I
like
did. That's
that.
why I asked.
So
That's good.
Of course we care, Austin.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna wet it and sprout it, and then they're gonna roast it after that. During that germination process, a lot of sugars are developed,
Okay.
and some other enzymes that are apparent in the husk that will help turn extra starch into sugar. And interrupt me.
Absolutely.
completely,
Spot on.
Jason.
That's
So
exactly right.
You sprout it to create those enzymes and to activate all these sugars, so you have fermentables.
Right. So any plant in the world, the building block for that plant is sugar.
Yep.
So we could go out in the lawn right now and actually cut your grass and put that in a tank and ferment it, and it would make some kind of alcohol with the yeast because it's got sugar in it.
Yeah.
And that'd be really disgusting, but we could do it. So exactly as Austin said, the sugar.
Grass clipping challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
You beat me to it.
The-
You beat me to
I
it,
mean,
dude.
you could do it.
Don't encourage
It
it.
might-
Sorry.
No, wait. Actually, now I want to see this. So,
You
I got rid of all my
totally
brewing
beat-
equipment, thank God.
so every plant's got
No
sugar
one can
in it.
see, but Austin's
Just like
vessels
an
and the
oak
sides
tree.
of his heads are pulsating.
Just like an oak tree has sugar in it, which
Yeah.
we then pull
Turn
out of
into
that oak
acorn. Yeah.
later. So the sugar in a multigrain, as he said, is naturally present. So it's a completely different process that happens when the grain is sprouted compared to when we just take a raw kernel and we grind it up and cook the sugar out. So for instance, on a malt cook, we only have to go to maybe 140, 150 degrees in temperature. On a regular bourbon cook that's not sprouted, all those grains that aren't sprouted or malted, we have to cook to maybe 185 degrees. So we're essentially doing the same thing. We just don't have to. The sugar's pulled out a little easier on a malted grain because it's already there and present.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because it's sprouted, sugar's there, so the plant can eat it and basically start growing.
I mean, I guess it's a lot of the same principle as like what you were doing with the dry aging, where you didn't put any heat to that meat. You got to process it in a way that was retained its integrity a lot better than if you heated it up, where you're going to burn off some stuff or create.
No,
You're going
there's-
to introduce
there's-
things
there's-
It's a good
in
analogy.
or out.
Yeah, I like the analogy.
To a degree.
Yeah.
But there in beer brewing, you use a 100% malted grains because the enzymes present in the husk, when they hit a certain temperature, and it's been too long for me and I don't recall that temperature, 140 maybe. The enzymes will react with the starch in the grain itself. Like you take one kernel, there's enzymes in there and there's starch in there, and they will convert that starch into sugar on their own. It's
Yep.
a naturally occurring process, but that process doesn't happen unless the grain has been sprouted, germinated, and then roasted. They're not using 100% malts because they are still cooking a cereal mash of sorts
Right.
to extract sugars in other fashions because you get more complex sugars and different kinds of
Yeah.
sugars. So during fermentation, there you get residual sugars because the yeast you're not using, the yeast you're using will not eat all of those. And in distillation, it's different because you're distilling, but
It's actually the same.
is it?
You hit it spot on. So when we cook, we're cooking complex sugar out of the grains that aren't malted, okay? And the malted grain has the enzyme, as Austin said, that actually transfers the complex sugar into a simple sugar because yeast can't eat a complex sugar.
Yeah.
So there's what a malted grain is used for. So, for instance, I don't have to cook really hot with a malted grain because sugar's already simple.
Okay.
With the other stuff, I have to cook a little hotter and then add the enzyme that kind of turns it all into. It's
great
actually fascinating to watch.
I mean, yeah.
You guys should come over. When we cook, I'm not kidding. When you first pour all of the unmalted grains into the mash tun, we start stirring it. It literally goes from kind of a heavy or a really light slurry to cornmeal mush
Yeah.
in a minute. It thickens up, gets super, super slimy.
All that starch.
And just starch is there, and the mixer barely turns it. In 5 minutes after we put the malted grains into that pot, it's so cool, man. Dump the malts in, stir them in. It will go from that really gooey oatmeal
Yeah.
back to like you poured sand in a tea glass. It is so badass.
Always
So
enzymes.
the enzymes to take all that
Science.
complex sugar,
Yeah.
turn it simple, and therefore it doesn't take up as much volume, and it turns literally, we get cone back in the tank, and it's real liquidy. It's like pouring it, whereas
Yeah.
you had to use a spoon prior to that.
Yeah.
So that's that's the science part of it on liquor. So, or mashing. So this, back to the rye, this is a malted rye whiskey. So the time that we came out with this, I give all the props to my little brother. I was like, let's just make a rye whiskey. I love rye.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I want to do something a little different. And so he said, what if we did a malted rye whiskey? I'm like, yeah, what's out there? There were like 6, maybe 7 malted rye whiskeys in the world when we launched this product. There weren't many of them at all.
Sure.
And literally, man, same thing. I said, yeah, we could do whatever we want, come up with something. He came up with 65% malted rye out of Texas, 17% rye berry, which is, again, I have to cook a little hotter to get that sugar out. And then we've got 17 and 6% corn and 6% wheat. So we stuck with the 4 grain, and we're doing a rye malt whiskey. So it's a really complex spirit, It doesn't taste like all the rye whiskeys out
not
there.
at all.
It's just got a huge following with the mixologists that are using it right now because it's
Yeah.
very, very different. Really smooth.
It's
It's got chocolate, dark fruits.
so good. I mean,
It's a touch on the sweeter side,
It
which
is.
I appreciate
Yeah.
yeah.
personally.
Compared to most ryes
Yeah,
that are
most
really
rye.
peppery.
They're real peppery,
Yep.
and I enjoy that for some things. But like what we're doing, we're all sipping out of a Glencairn right now.
This shit is fucking good.
It's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
took my words. We're sipping
Yeah.
neat
Oh,
out of a
dude.
Glencairn,
Sure.
and it is
Well,
phenomenal.
Make yourselves at home, by the way. Yeah.
So
Here you go, sweetheart.
We gotta do shit later.
so
So
we
we'd
drank
have to do it here.
Oh,
I
I
want to sit
forget.
around and just yell
Oh,
at
it's
you guys.
Jared's first whiskey. That's adorable.
Oh my goodness, what is this thing here? What do you do with whiskey?
You've never
So-
gotten ready for a fishing trip drunk?
oh, man.
I'd be ready already. I get drunk after.
Sorry,
prepare
I had
for
to
shit.
work
So,
today.
let me think.
Sorry for
Anything
partying.
else about the whiskey? We just picked up, super proud for my little brother, man. Just picked up our first golds at SIP Awards for the rye and the cask strength bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Really, really proud of that. It's our first gold in a big competition. We've won some smaller competitions, but this is a big one for us.
sure.
So,
You and I were talking about
obviously-
that when I was there recently.
yeah.
Made here in Texas, where can people, obviously buy it from you guys?
I appreciate that. Yeah. So Total Wine and More, Specs, Twins, Goody.
Okay, so yeah,
all
people
the
can find it.
independents.
It's
Yeah,
distributed,
we're everywhere.
You're up
For
this
sure.
where at HG Supply up on 114.
Yep.
The Trophy Club Old Fashioned
Yep.
is made with Tahwahkaro.
Really?
Yeah.
We
Yep.
need to go there.
Dude,
I
let's
used
go.
to work
I-
at
yeah.
It's great.
HG,
Lauren and
yeah.
I love it.
It is a good
We
one.
should all of us
They
should
did a
meet there
really
for
good
drinks.
job. Yeah, I'm down.
and
Is the one still down on
I dig an
Greenville?
old fashioned.
Greenville's still there. I
Yeah.
think maybe the one in Fort Worth
I
that
got
I
a
used
good
to work
recipe. I think it
at's
shut down.
closed.
Is here. Yeah. Well, I know they have
No,
one
this
on.
one over here in Trophy Club's
that's
still open.
on the way here,
the
right?
Fort
I'm
Worth
talking about the one that's
Yeah,
in
you
Fort
pass
Worth.
the
though.
giant thing on the
Yep.
north side of the highway. Great place. Lauren and his family, we go with them a lot. They live in the
so
area.
good. When I
Their
went to the I've
queso,
only been to the
awesome.
Greenville one.
The queso is delicious and it's vegan. It's weird. Like I didn't know that till after I worked there. I'm like, this queso is amazing, and they're like, yeah, it's vegan. I was like, what? It's delicious.
What's the math on that?
I don't know.
It's not made with cheese.
I think they.
Exactly.
That's the math.
Yeah. So
It's vegan. I don't know.
I want
It's
nothing
one
to do with
sentence.
it.
Yeah.
So, my favorite old-fashioned recipe. You said
All
you
right,
liked old-fashioned.
Lay it on
Oh,
us.
this
So,
guy
and
too.
Let's
I
move
take
downstairs real quick.
I take no.
I'll go get. I've got bitters and
Do
things.
it.
but
Hurry,
continue.
go.
I take no
hurry,
credit.
go.
No credit. I was at Whiskey Cake in Katy, Texas.
Whiskey Cake's great.
West of Houston. And I walked up to the bar. Was gonna after a day of sales, I walked to the bar, sat down. Guy came over. What can I get you? I said, man, make me something you'd make at your house for you. And I went, and they weren't even carrying tile at the time. Came back and I said, I'm an old-fashioned guy. Came back, this old-fashioned that it was just off the hook. Like this is probably one of the best presentations on old-fashioned I've drank in the States so far. This is probably a year ago. So the two guys next were like, I want what he's having, The guy made a couple more.
Yeah.
I'll
It
have
was
what
it was
she's
awesome.
having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I said,
Oh,
hey,
God.
I said,
Yeah.
what's your name? And he's like, Andrew. I'm like, Andrew, good to meet you. You got to tell me about this. So I don't even remember the spirit he was using.
He's
but
like,
it's
do
incredible.
you know
with
about whiskey? And you're
It's
like,
in-
yeah.
Was it a rye or a bourbon?
bourbon. Yep.
Okay.
So it's incredible with Tahwahkaro. And one thing I love about the 4 grain is that there's such complexity in the spirit on both of these, the rye and the bourbon.
Absolutely.
That number one, and it's 90. Our flagship is 96. Any kind of cast strength is going to really hold up in an old fashioned. But 2 ounces of Tahwahkaro bourbon, any kind of simple syrup that you like, so turbinado, whatever, and then you're going to do 4 dashes of orange bitters, 2 dashes of walnut bitters, and that's it. So 2 ounces of bourbon, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 4 dashes of orange, 2 dashes of walnut bitters, and then Luxardo cherry, a little bit of the cherry syrup stirred in, big cube of ice, and then toast an orange peel. So set it on fire. You'll get a really cool popcorn smell off the nose.
You're pulling that orange oil
Yeah.
out of that peel.
It is phenomenal.
Sounds
do
good
that.
to me.
I don't
Now,
have
if
walnut
you really want it to mix it up, get a really well seasoned post oak. Set that on fire and smoke the glass, and you'll get a really cool Texas version of an old fashioned, smoked old fashioned. But it's got to be. It cannot be non-seasoned. It will turn very funky.
My
if
problem
you
with
don't.
old fashions is that I drink them and then the lights go out, and then I wake up in the morning.
I'm
just
waiting
like,
for people over here to go down and make a round of these right now.
Will.
I wake up. I
Do you have the
spend
walnut?
Isn't old I think
You
old
should try
fashions
it,
put
man.
me down for
I
New
will.
Year's Eve.
Oh.
I think.
I think we
And-
carry some walnut bitters.
and-
I'll pull a bottle.
And
I
let
don't
me
remember much
give you
about
his
that.
version of it. By the way, he did a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup and a 1/4 ounce of sherry. And so the sherry adds another little layer there that was really interesting.
That's a
to
lot
me.
for home.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
But I remember when I bartended.
It's
too.
a really. It's a.
I
it-
remember
I
my
remember
first
there's-
bartending job.
There's
I remember you
two-
bartended as well.
There's 2 things I love about travel. One is getting into a Lyft or an Uber and like sitting in the front seat and like, "What's up, man? Where are you from?" Or, "Hey, where are you from? Let's talk." I met a guy from Angola. It was North Africa. Who was in the States learning going to school for communication so that he could go home and help get internet to the rest of his community and his country. And understanding, meeting people from all over the
Yeah.
world, you just jump in one of these cars, you take a lift around. It's so much fun just to learn from
I
some
agree.
other culture
Oh, yeah.
or even religious. I've had religious conversations with people, politics. It is an incredible thing to do.
Yeah.
And then secondly for me is when I travel, walk up to a bar and ask them to make you something. They make it their house.
Yeah.
Number
That's-
one,
that's
the
a
bartender
rad-
loves you because
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like, okay, this is badass.
Okay, cool.
I'll take care of
That-
this.
Yeah,
guy.
because it's not like, I'll have the Bahama Mama.
Yeah. Can I get
Can you make a margarita here?
Do you know how to make
are
a Long
you
Island
Right.
iced tea?
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
right?
I had a blue Hawaiian
It's-
once on
yeah.
a cruise.
I had
I bartended
exactly.
for a
It's
long time.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
This doesn't
like-
have goldfish crackers in it. Like, what?
The last time I ordered it did.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
There's no watermelon.
Oh my God.
Did this, isn't
It's
this
because
supposed to come
Austin
with an
spilt
umbrella?
this goldfish in
It's just
we need to pound
Yeah.
up goldfish into
just
like
try
a
it. I
fine
recommend it to anybody.
kind of a powder.
Sit in the front seat, by the way, in the cars.
What
You
about
gotta do
people
it.
who eat out of the tray? Is there anything worse than that? Somebody's just trying to eat olives out of the well tray.
Oh,
Like, what the fuck are you doing? That was one of my favorite things that would happen. You're like, stop eating fruit out of the tray.
And it's funny, when I go out to eat with my wife's family, they all decide what they want to eat, and they're like, are you ready? I'm like, whatever. And he just comes down to me, I'm like, what do you eat here?
yeah, yeah.
And the server, and on occasion they'll say like, oh, I like this. I'm like, not really in the mood for that, but
Triple dipper
I'll have this.
with all Southwest.
I mean, that's the game changer right there. But I'm always
Yeah, man,
I
it's a
spent
blast.
a long time in restaurants and running
a
bars and
blast.
bartending. I know what those people do. They know what's on the menu. Or like, hey, this ain't on the menu, but I'll do it. I'm like, do that.
Yeah.
Walk
Yeah.
the bartender like, what do you like to make?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
we're having a conversation with a chef next month, and him and I messaging and kind of planning the podcast.
Yeah.
He was like, can we kind of have what we're going to talk about lined out? I'm like, yeah, man, whatever you want. He goes, do you know what you want to talk about? And I said, what do you want to talk about? Like, because
Yeah.
I'll talk. We're happy to be blessed with talking to this guy about it with all his knowledge. But if he wants to talk about it, just like I want to hear about your adventures in Colorado and making whiskey. If you want to talk about it, you're going to talk about it better. There's going to be
with
more
gusto.
Depth. There's going to be more depth to it versus me like, what is your favorite bourbon? And just reading this
Sure,
docket
yeah,
list.
Mary,
So-
kill, fuck.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, Jim Beam.
Oh, by the way, I
Yeah.
have to give props. That is called Andrew's Old Fashioned. We named it after
Andrew's.
Andrew. I don't even know if he's at Whiskey Cake anymore in Katy, Texas, but if he happens to be
Andrew, if
listening,
you are, email him.
that is
Call him.
That is Andrew's Old Fashioned. So that's the recipe.
What are the odds that some Andrew's like, holy shit, that's me?
I still want
Listening to the Stormwater
still
Creek
wanna-
podcast.
The 4 people that listen to him,
That's not.
The one thing I want to pull back to just
that he
real
wouldn't
quick
be listening.
is that the two of you guys are y'all. I really want to know if you're saying bean or if you're saying beam.
Bean. Well, I don't know.
Bean.
I know what it is.
The adults know what it is.
Beam.
Yeah.
Wait, why are
You
you
were
pointing at
saying
me?
you were
'Cause
saying
you
bean
two over here
earlier.
were questioning.
Well, I was saying
I-
beam because I knew it would give you a small
'cause I'm
aneurysm.
No,
saying-
you didn't. Because you
Just-
thought it was bean.
Whoa, whoa,
No, I didn't.
He bartended.
There's
I
only
he
one
gets benefit
bean
of the
here,
doubt.
and he's
just
right
because I'm
there.
sitting next to him doesn't mean I question that.
Yeah, no.
How's
Guilty
it
by
spelled?
association.
I don't know how it's spelled.
Is it M with an M as in Mary or an N as in Nancy?
But why are you asking me?
Because you won't answer me.
But I didn't question it.
I'm questioning both of you
And Abe gets a pass because
because
he
I've
did
heard
bartend.
you both say it tonight.
He was
So I'm
probably just
trying to
poking
find
Taco
out. Oh, I'm-
Bear.
Literally, that's the entire goal of my weekend.
Oh, annoy Jared challenge.
Follow along at the at Early Garrett for the for the status of the vein in the side of
There were a
Jared's
few
head.
podcasts ago. I asked you if you wanted to be slapped in the face with a foot, and Jordan said he wanted to see it. And for my birthday, I feel like I should be able to kick you in the face.
I
That's
brought,
my
I
request.
I brought bar soap and socks.
I'm just saying. It's either you get the soap in the
Look.
sock, or you get the foot to the face.
Here's my thing. I've been thinking about this for a minimum 3 weeks. The 3 of you will gang up on me this weekend.
That's not true.
The 3 of you will try to kill me.
That's not true at all.
You won't.
I was thinking air mattress in the ocean.
There's
Close
no
enough to the
doubt.
coast, dude.
You,
Now you're talking.
there's no doubt that
Hey.
the Zoom call last night where it's my Zoom call. I get an email that just says, "Fuck Abe has joined the Zoom call," and I'm like, "Awesome, that's great, that's nice to see." The
was the
3 of
last
you
time.
spent an
Paging
a-
Dr.
a- yes, exactly. Paging Dr. Yes. Okay, we
You
have.
just can't wait to get out of here, can you?
Really?
The 3 of you spent at minimum 30 minutes talking about how you were going to make fuck on
Your-
me this entire
No,
weekend.
your name never came up.
Yeah, actually,
That's
we
a
didn't
lie.
give a fuck about
I
you.
a
swear
lie.
to you. Who's the captain now?
Yeah, you're trying to divert, and that's why I know. I know you're slicker than pig
Here's the
shit,
thing,
son.
I would tell you because
Pretty
I don't
much,
care.
we're all close enough with you to let you know that we don't give a fuck about you. Plain and simple. Okay, it's the birthday weekend. You gotta
Hey,
pick.
man.
You get the soap. You get the foot.
Oh my god.
Soap or the foot?
Man.
I just hope. I
get
hope
back to
For
one
one
those
of us,
viewers who just tuned in, listeners, excuse me.
I hope one of us, if not all of us, gets to use that bull red tag on my license or our license, someone's license that I personally never torn off, and I know none of us have.
I've never used a mule deer tag. I've never used a turkey tag, and I've never used a red tag.
My past 2 licenses, I just pull that tag off and it's like
Just
I'm
threw
not
it
gonna
away.
use. Like before I wasn't deer hunting, I'm like I'm not gonna deer hunt this season. Like I don't need these tags on here.
I think there's some chicanery there.
gross.
That is gross.
That is gross.
Wasn't-
yeah.
I mean,
That offends
I wasn't
me.
a hunter until a few years ago.
Doesn't matter.
Why would you?
I appreciate you buying the hunting license, but you should have left them attached.
So suppose toward the end of the season, you got a random friend that's like, "Hey, come shoot a deer," and you're like, "Oh wait, I threw away my deer tag." Like,
I probably would have declined a few years ago. I would've been
It's like
"No,
Blair
man,
Witch
that's not my thing."
Project.
Oh
Why'd the
my
guy
God.
throw the map in the river?
Yeah.
If you've
I
ever
mean,
seen that, it's
whatever,
Another
dude.
movie. Oh,
Now
just
I've
saying.
got
how
everything.
dare
because
you,
we're hunting.
sir? That is a cinematic masterpiece. When she has a snot bubble, do you know how that was? We were talking about not having effects in it, like special effects in a movie. That was real snot bubble.
True.
Snopes it.
True. I saw the movie,
It's
and a friend of
horrible.
mine was
You're right.
like, "You're gonna be so freaked out. You're never going to camp ever again." I was like,
I never
"Really?
saw
That's
it.
scary."
Fuck that, dude. Worst
It's
movie.
ridiculous.
It's-
like follow the creek.
I don't.
You'll go
understand.
somewhere.
somewhere
You know what
exactly.
we were talking about the like movie
Oh.
magic and just like not making your head hurt. There's nothing. I'm like watching that movie. You're just like people like. How are you even scared about this? Is so
Oh,
stupid.
dude, I know.
It's the Blair
I've-
Witch,
I've-
dude.
Oh, just
I get sick to my stomach because it's shot like I shoot video, like garbage.
Yeah.
And for an hour and a half, I'm just like, I think I'm
As a
getting
person
motion
who's
sickness.
had to edit some of your footage,
Yeah.
I'm not going
Oh.
to disagree with that one.
Yeah.
it was yeah, just
All I think about,
full of non-common sense.
Yes,
full of.
100%.
all I can think about is the
all
South
are.
Park where they have the guinea pigs that are attacking, and the dad's doing the video camera, shaking, pointing towards me. I'm so startled. I'm so startled, like the whole time.
Startled. Okay, so how many elk have you killed?
2
Bulls,
cows.
2 cows.
Actually, one was a bull, but a young bull. So I
Okay.
had
Whatever.
no idea. Yeah.
She's
2
had
more
the young
elk than
bull.
everybody
So-
else
The
in this
young
room's
cat.
killed.
So first, this is here's what's
Bead of
awesome.
water
okay,
dripping from my chest to my,
My
ball
chest
fro.
down to my
Just-
ball fro.
maybe it's sort of along the lines of that first pig hunt.
Okay.
I did a bunch of pre-scouting back before the woods were. I mean, it's
Full of Texans?
It's unbelievable. I mean, everybody's hunting up there right now. So it was a place
pumpkin
called
patch.
Lookout Mountain,
Thanks,
which was
Meat Eater.
just east of Gunnison and west of Monarch Pass, in a place called near, not the other hot springs, Juanita Hot Springs. Super cool mountain, Lookout Mountain. Not real steep, kind of long sloping, deadwood,
Called
blow
Darrow?
down. Yeah, I guess you call it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of bald patch on top, so just above 11,000, but pretty
I
easy
don't
hike.
even want to.
So
It's a good term.
the first day,
I'll award it.
opening day, I go out, set up camp. I'm there a day before, getting all the wood cut and everything like that. I go out the evening before. No, it's not even. It's. Gosh, yeah. This is the first.
Is this rifle or bow?
This is rifle.
Okay.
This is the first day of rifle season. I get out in the morning, hike. I drive like this 45-minute little tiny, soccer balls boulder strewn road. It's only maybe 2 miles long. It's low.
About
low,
6 miles an hour
Yeah.
is max you ever get.
If
if
I mean,
that.
maybe
Yeah.
it's low range
Crawling.
first
Yeah.
gear in a Nissan old school Pathfinder 4-wheel
Yep.
drive all the way up this mountain. Get up there, park the truck, pull it off the road, walk up through this really cool kind of canyon, get up this spot, a little shelf on about maybe 10,000 feet, and I'm just seeing beds and sign, really fresh, greasy sign everywhere. I'm like, sweet, I am coming back this afternoon. It's about 9:30 in the morning, maybe 9:45. Walk back, straight back down the mountain. I'm kind of at one point like, where am I at? And I'm not even hunting. I'm just walking.
Yeah.
Get into the truck. I want to go eat lunch or take a little siesta. Finally look up again. Oh, there's the truck. Walking to the 10 yards. look up. There's this cow standing 30 yards from the truck.
Oh, nice.
Like, no joke.
Perfect.
You should talk about this elk hunting thing like it's
maybe,
hard.
This is
maybe
no joke.
if I give her another minute, she'll be 5 yards, and we have to carry her.
Yeah.
This is no joke. I have the cow tag. I'm like, oh, there's one. Bam! 300 Weatherby. She runs 10 feet.
Yeah.
Falls over dead. I
Back your
literally
truck up.
swear to God. Kid you not. And then I'm looking at this, and so then I'm like, well, it's kind of smaller than big cow, and I look, it's a really young bull, so antlerless bull, which is totally legal. Just that's the first thing I saw, so I blasted it. About a 300-pound animal, and I'm kind of like, how am I going to get this in the truck? Because I had no cooler. I think I had a knife and some game bags, but I was like, I got to figure out how to do this. So I had a link of the rope in my backpack in case I needed it, in case I got lost. Hooked it around the head, ran it up into the front eye of the bed,
Yeah.
and then pulleyed the head and shoulders up in, and then pushed it in the rest of the way. Took it home, or took it to camp, strung it up, cleaned it that morning, and then as soon as I was done cleaning it, like, well, what am I going to do now? I have 7 days off.
I took the time off work for this.
So, yeah, I
Hotel in town.
coyote
cash.
Old
hunted.
fashions.
Yeah.
I coyote hunted, wrote a couple of cool songs on the guitar, hung out. I did see the biggest porcupine I've ever seen in my life was right there in camp. You've seen porcupine sit up,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was 30 inches, man.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Like
Bigger than a
this.
Cocker Spaniel.
Just an absolute
Unit.
huge animal. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, unit
I walked
of a
out like, what's that
porcupine.
noise? And he was just sitting there looking at me. And this is right behind the little one-bedroom little box camper, old school 70s camper I had.
Yeah.
Just sitting there looking, I could shine my light like, all right, well, cool. Just sat down, kind of walked off real slow, really old porcupine. But, yeah, man, just hung out for the next – I did a bunch of crawfish trapping in a little lake up there and I have a picture of it somewhere, made some gumbo and fresh crawfish. It was really fun. So
What are you hunting this year? What's your big hunts this year?
Man, it's funny. I talk about this all the time. I love hunting deer, but nothing gets me more excited about being in the woods than hunting feral pig.
I've got the fever bad right now.
I mean,
so I'm there.
I just, and here my very, very first experience. So first experience ever in pig hunting was I was deer hunting in Ocala, Florida. So we lived in Florida back when I was probably 22, 23 years old. I'm in Lockaloosa Lake. I'm in the middle of nowhere, walking along these palmettos, and have no idea. I'm looking for deer. I hadn't even really experienced pigs. I'd heard them and seen them occasionally, but never. And I must have walked into them. I walked into this sounder, and just all hell breaks loose. And so I hear them crashing and squealing, and I'm like, doing the whole swinging the gun around, like I'm
What
about
is
to
going
get charged.
on?
And this big boar literally comes in a little break, eyes me, turns right at me, and I'm shooting a 30-30.
Yeah.
And this is probably all of 10 yards away. And I'm behind about a 12-inch pine tree, or kind of right to my left. And it was a Marlin 336, which, if you guys know, has 2 safeties on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in such a rush that I forgot the push-button safety. And this boar charges me, and I drew down, and at about 2 feet, click,
Nice.
right at the ground. The gun doesn't go off. Simultaneously, I step right behind this pine tree, kind of all in one motion. Like you've seen the videos where instinct just takes
Yeah,
over.
For sure, yeah.
Just click. I take a step. His tusk rakes that tree as he's trying to get me. As he's going by, he runs another 5, maybe 10 feet that way, head on into another pine tree, hits it head on, shakes his head, and runs off into the woods. I literally am like, I'm panting at this point.
Yeah.
Literally panting.
Yeah.
I don't feel my legs for
Yeah.
like 2 hours because
I
the
would have had to
adrenaline
clean
is
poop
just
from my
so
underwear.
heavy. And
That's a daily thing.
ever
for you.
since that, it was just something that was kind of like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Hell of a first
In a
experience.
sense, it didn't turn
Yeah, I
wrong
mean-
because I was, and I had guys tell me like, you ever get attacked or you fall and break your leg in Florida, do not stay on the ground. You'll
Yeah.
die.
The
Like,
python.
and I was
yeah,
like, what,
yeah.
from gators? No, not gators. Like pigs, man. Pigs will eat you real quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so I had this whole scenario, all these conversations running through my head as this pig hits this pine tree and bangs into the other one. I don't even know how big he was, but he's big enough to cut a tree.
I mean,
And so that experience, coming here, kind of having that 2-minute drive into the
Yeah.
woods, there's one,
yeah.
I just absolutely love it. I eat, I try to eat every single thing that I shoot. I love eating wild pork. I really, really do. Everything that I've been told since I've been here, I've never experienced it, and I've eaten a bunch of these animal, the blue meat. They're full of worms, whatever else people come up with. You don't want to eat them if they're nasty. Like, I've raised pigs, domestic pigs, coat themselves in mud because they get sunburned.
Yeah.
Really is why they do it. And
Yeah.
it keeps parasites
Yeah.
off. Pigs are actually pretty clean animals. So
Absolutely.
they're free, tank of gas and $1.30 for a 3 or 8 round
Yeah.
that I load myself, and I can put 100 pounds of meat in the freezer. And I love it. And
Yeah.
it tastes, there's never a hormone, there's never an antibiotic. And they've never eaten anything that was processed or made for them just to put
Yeah.
weight on them. So in my book, I mean, you just,
Austin had to explain that one to me when I took down my first pig out at the farm, like a month ago now, and I was cooking the back straps, and I was just like, he's like, so what do you think? And I was like, it's kind of dry. It's a little lean. He's like, yeah, there's not going to be as much
Yeah.
fat
They
in
work.
there."
They work
Absolutely.
for their food.
And I was like, oh, that, like, didn't even think about that,
absolutely, man.
Supplement it.
It
yeah,
is.
that fever, like that. I mean, I was bugging him. We got my AR built, and I'm like, "Hey, when are we going to the farm?" He's
Let's go.
after deer season. It's like,
I've got a couple
No!
really nice deer in
I
camera.
want to go shoot pigs.
So I'm
Yep.
like, all right. So here's the deal, kids. We're done pig hunting for a couple weeks. So I got to stick a deer with an arrow in about 7 days.
So
Yep.
as soon as they're
Can't
done,
believe
and
it's freaking me out that deer season's starting.
So
I've
just
been
like,
shooting.
Holy shit.
as soon as
I'm,
the deer
I'm
are done,
up to
yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm ready.
like 40 arrows a day, and my shoulder's feeling pretty okay.
that's the other
Good.
thing,
I was
too.
worried
It's
about
that-
your shoulder.
It's that robot arm.
I wish I had a robot arm.
Robot arm.
For Texas, you can hunt year-round. I can bring any of my friends from Colorado without
Exactly.
a license and
Yep.
get them on pigs, and they
Yep.
all have an incredible time. I love it, man. I've had instances like tonight. We take these beer cans right here in the field. We're standing there in the dark, crunching beer cans because we're about to leave, and you turn around and you have just enough light in your binoculars or whatever you're using in moonlight,
And you see.
and they're 20 yards
Yeah.
from me.
Yep.
And just the excitement of it all, and you don't really have to be super quiet and kind of real still. Their eyesight's pretty bad. Their nose is incredible, of course.
you
but
will never fool their nose.
I just,
but
it's just it's a sickness, man. I love it. I love eating those things, and it's free meat, and I
Yep.
couldn't.
For sure.
Why would I pay for it?
what about ducks?
So I
We
was
kind
telling.
of talked about
so
this a little bit.
Oh,
So I am not a duck hunter. I never have really been a bird hunter as well. Kind of like along the Colorado. I never really got into fly fishing, but I'm very open to it. So I've hunted quail and, ptarmigan in Colorado, but I have never hunted ducks. So I would love
You will this year.
to go out and
Yeah.
kill some ducks. I have a buddy of mine that's got 300 acres in East Texas that's got some duck sloughs, and so I've got a couple of spots that I want to
Yeah,
go
let
try
us
it
know,
out
man.
with.
We're totally. Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah,
with
we'll
you.
go. We'll show you the ropes,
Yeah,
man.
it's all
You know,
good,
you
yeah.
just,
Whatever you need.
take
We got
us-
decoys, man.
Yeah, man. I got an extra shotgun. And,
I got these decoys.
I got these
I've got these
decoys.
cheeseburgers, man.
So yeah, I need to be. I need to.
Like, I feel like you're the kind of dude who would just you get into things pretty hardcore, and
Watch
Duck
out!
hunting's
wa-
bad.
Yeah,
duck
watch
hunting
out!
may ruin
Well,
your life,
bad.
bro.
It's bad.
It's actually one of the thought processes I had for fly fishing. It's like, man, I don't
Right there
need
with you.
another. So, but at this time, as I was rock
There's
climbing
science
really
and
heavy.
stuff.
I had $2,000 in rock gear.
Yeah.
Just belays and beaners and cams and harnesses and shoes.
Still
Gosh.
got all those?
No, man.
Oh man, I was
no.
say you got
I can
yourself
still-
a saddle basically.
I still
set
know
up.
the form, but the endurance and strength factor wouldn't be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just like rock climbing, skiing. Of course, I've got a habit of. I was doing
I love skiing.
prior to Winter Park. When I lived in Winter Park, I was logging. This is back in the free Crested Butte days. Anybody remember those?
Mm-mm.
So Crested Butte, the town would give you 2 weeks in the spring, 2 weeks in the fall,
Crested Butte is
completely
tight.
free.
Wow.
The town would pay the mountain for it, just to get people to go out. So 4 weeks of the year, I'd just
Ski.
take off and I'd go sleep on a friend's floor and buy groceries and ski every day.
Oh, wow.
In Crested Butte. So that started in 96, all the way up to 99, moved to Winter Park and logged 126 days that year. And
Jesus.
so
That's skiing your face
I just think,
off.
Yeah, I mean, big time,
doing
man,
something,
yeah.
anything like that, like daily, basically.
Yeah.
You know, is such a cool thing.
Yeah.
I would give anything to like be able to do that for duck hunting. Just to go wake up Monday, go duck hunt. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. You know, just every single day of the week for 60 days. And
that's awesome.
just see what you learn. I mean, just to
Yeah.
come out, go in one position and come out on the other side. And even if you're just like
This
just
is why
doing
we
it,
need to start our own business.
hey,
We can take off all the time we want.
You could call it Ducks Unlimited.
yes.
That's a wonderful
Whoa,
name.
that's an awesome name,
Oh.
bro.
Let's just call it Unlimited Ducks.
Unlimited ducks.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But
that'd be
you
Tomorrow,
know, just
pen to paper. We're making it happen.
But yeah, I just never got into
Speak
it. I love the
paper
big
to
game
me.
aspect of it, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I wouldn't say I'm definitely not. I think it'd be fun. I mean, everyone
It's-
that does it says it's a blast. And
Here's
I'm
the
like,
deal.
Okay, let's go.
you like the
Here's the deal.
camaraderie
Let me lay it
aspect
out
of
for you.
pigs.
Yeah.
You can ratchet that up 12 degrees to duck hunting because
You'll never see a surplus of meat, a payoff for your efforts, or a return on your investment.
no,
You'll
no.
never see those. Great.
Mm-mm.
Oh
It is
no!
I'm in.
a fucking money pit.
So here, let me put
Shit.
my duck hunting career on
Oh.
paper for you.
Oh yeah.
A handful of years ago, I say, you know what?
I'm
Shooting
gay.
dove is cool.
What?
What?
Shooting dove is cool
I get yelled at for things like that. You just moved on.
because you're like other people I know that if you feed the fire keeps burning. If you just snuff it out by not acknowledging it,
I'm into that kind of
it's
stuff.
not that fire analogy.
Sounds like a
Snuff film?
really gay thing to say.
Anywho,
Sorry.
Anywho.
Continue.
he's looking for attention. If you don't give it to him, he'll stop.
Ah.
So
He'll finish. He'll get off as soon as he's done.
see,
Joe Dirt, good.
so a handful of years ago, I'm like, yeah, shooting birds is really cool. It's easier than shooting deer since I have nowhere to go but public land. And public land deer hunting in Texas is very tough. We've talked about that countless times in this
Unless
podcast.
you're Scotty and
It's-
Jesse.
It's very doable if you put a lot of work into it. Two of our fellow podcast hosts, for when they want to come and talk about deer, are very, very good at killing public land deer.
Correspondence.
Yeah.
So
Like Connie Chang?
I decided I want to duck hunt because there's lakes. I see ducks. I know you call them and they come to calls, so I kind of said, I'm gonna go duck hunt. So I bought a call, I bought some decoys, I had rubber boots, and I just wandered up to a lake, and I killed a couple ducks.
First experience. Wow.
I mean, first year,
Yeah. First year. Okay.
But-
okay.
not first experience. I killed a couple ducks, and that's all right. This is crazy, So then decide, all right, not having waders, I should get waders. And anybody wants to start duck hunting, we've said this 1,000 times, just buy waders. You have to.
Just out of the gate, get waders.
No question.
Yeah.
There's no.
Okay.
There's no.
Now, do you get the boots with it too?
They're not. It's
Well,
not like
it's not
fly-
wader. It's
It's
not
not
that
like
kind of
fly
waders,
fishing. They're
no.
connected. It's one giant.
It's one
piece.
big piece.
It's one
yeah.
big
okay,
piece.
Okay.
You're-
So mud boots tied to a big.
Jared is grounded. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all. It's a big
Got it.
suit you put on.
Okay.
So.
So what about like the shoes you use down in the Gulf? Are those like fly boots or?
Yeah, they're gonna be waiting. If you're gonna use same kind of deal. They're
Okay.
gonna be stingray boots and all
Okay,
that stuff.
okay.
Hunting waders are way different. Big,
Okay.
You got 1,000 grams of insulated in
Gotcha.
your boots, and
Yep.
and they're big lugs on the bottom.
Got it. They'll be warm.
And they're attached, and it's
Okay.
neoprene. Past that, it's not breathable at
Okay.
all. On a
Unless you
warm-
get breathable waders.
which are bullshit.
No, they're not.
Okay.
I'm telling you what. I have
I'll
a
tell you
pair of
what.
neoprene waders and I have a pair of breathable waders. I like my breathable waders better.
All right. That's cool.
100%.
I'm cold natured. I'll sweat. I don't mind. I
and
hate being
that's
cold.
That's
but-
the other thing. I hate being cold too. I love
it's
Texas so much.
maybe a. Well, I
gonna
mean,
be a
it's not too bad here in Texas. Cold. Your definition of cold is way higher than what cold is here.
No, probably. Well,
I hate
mean,
being
yeah,
cold.
temperature-wise.
I've been
but
wearing
man, wet cold is like, oh.
I've been sleeping in a hoodie for a week now. I hate being cold.
Yeah, I like being cold when I sleep.
No.
Me too.
65,
No.
66.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's me.
I can't sleep
You
at
okay?
72.
You okay there,
Are you
Sally?
doing chuckles?
Dude, I'm a flipping. I got a nuclear reactor for a motor. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
you've got a
Yeah,
super high metabolism
I
because you're
do.
so active, for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm with you.
Thermostat's at 68 degrees when we go.
Oh,
to
yeah.
sleep.
Absolutely
Has to
same
be.
way.
And I still get hot.
I kick it off every now and then, every night.
All right, Gordo.
Anywho, so
yeah.
you rubber boot, shoot a couple ducks. Like, oh, this is pretty awesome. Buy some waders, shoot a few more ducks. Try to figure out learning decoys. I don't know what is wrong with our friend over here.
It's got a case of the funsies.
The funsies?
So
You're so
then
stupid.
we shoot some ducks, and they're too far out. So I get a little mini collapsible like travel rod, just garbage little thing. Get a top water, put some weight on it, so I can hook it out and kind of hook the duck and reel it in. We get to a point, shot a couple
God, I would
more.
give anything to have watched the fucking ridiculous nature of you trying to throw a rod and reel out to catch a duck.
It worked great.
Did it
I'm
work?
sure it did
Yeah,
work. I'm
absolutely
just
worked.
saying, like, you
Awesome.
did you hit it
Every
every
time.
time, like first time? I mean, just
There was so
Dude.
many ducks killed. Like the 2 times I ever did it, it worked fine. It took a few casts, but
So you could hit a small object at 30
and
yards.
you're not hitting it.
See?
No, and you're
Great
not,
tie back
you're not
there.
hitting it. You just gotta get it over it
Sure.
and just drag it back over the top.
Still,
But you still want to make it in the hoop.
pretty good mark.
but you're getting it in
Pretty
the
good.
hoop.
And it
basically.
wasn't that it was super far. It was water depth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Water depth. What do you like? You talking about like it was you couldn't.
If they
get
went
across?
out, if they
it
were
was too
it
deep.
was
It was,
just-
I was
okay, it was
hunting
too
up on
deep,
Ray.
not too-
I honestly
okay.
was up on Ray Roberts, and we were hunting these little coves. And that year it rained a ton. I mean, you get 4 feet out, and your chest waders, you're 5 feet of water already.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not getting to that duck. It's only 10 more yards.
Yeah, but-
so you're just flipping over it just to pull it back to you.
Gotcha.
If there was no wind, if the wind, you hope they push back,
Yeah.
whatever. Then
Sometimes
we
it-
get to the point about a packable inflatable raft.
You're with him on these, right?
No.
No.
Got it.
No?
This is before he duck hunted.
Oh
even.
wow.
Yeah. And then I bought a little packable inflatable raft with battery C batteries, inflate it, and paddle that thing out there. All right, this is pretty cool. And, I mean, the ball just keeps rolling, and scouting, and looking, and looking. And then, year before last, oh, look, perfect timing.
Yes.
Dog walks
Max
up
is
here.
like, oh, you're talking about
You
the
got a
things
dog
you
that
got
can go
for
get
hunting.
them? Yeah.
So now we have a dog, and send the dog to school for 4 months, and you pay monthly on that. And you leave, it's boot camp. I left the dog in San Antonio for 4 months.
Oh,
You
wow.
go back and get the dog. Come on.
And
Ignore
it's-
Abe.
it's
He's
done.
dumb. Come on.
The dog's
Um,
trained.
Yeah.
I mean, his
Max is
mom's
the
ruined
best
him,
dog
but
Yeah.
Was.
No, it's but he.
oh,
we
he's
went out,
absolutely
though.
catch.
No,
He
he's
knows
ba-
what his job
It's funny.
He
He's
absolutely catches
definitely
that.
turned into like he's Lauren's dog.
He's a house
no
dog.
question.
Yeah.
Well, we
But when
went
it
out
comes to
hunt,
hunting,
though.
he wants to hunt with me. It's a really weird dichotomy.
Yeah.
Like he came and sat with me during hunting. I was like, you just work him. She hunts with us. So
He retrieved wonderfully. He did great.
yeah. So he went to training, and then it's like, you know what else we need? A boat. So now we've got a few $1,000s in a boat, a few $1,000s in a dog, a few $100s in decoys, a few handfuls of hundreds in gear, and by God, there's 3 ounces of meat off every duck we shoot is totally worth it.
Yeah.
Like zero.
And,
It's-
And we have
It's
the
not- it's-
Armada
okay,
this
it's-
year.
We
too.
do have
and
the
then
the
Armada.
best way to put it is it's golf with pennies of return.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, golf
or
has.
for me, for Colorado, it'd be like, well, the trout tastes just as good using a Panther Martin and a little $4 spinning
Exactly.
rod as
Yeah.
it did on that $900 fly rod
Correct.
and the $900 fly reel.
Yeah.
Because I don't fish. I fish to eat, typically.
Yeah.
I hunt to
Absolutely.
eat. Interesting.
It's
okay.
it's the journey.
So I would love to go along for a duck. Yes.
A
I'd
journey.
love to give it a shot. Yep.
You
Oh,
ever,
yeah.
You ever gone up to Broken Bow to fish?
Nope.
Oh man,
Oh,
you got to
do
go up
that.
there with
3
some
hours
time.
from here, you can go catch a limited rainbow trout in a couple hours.
It's wonderful.
We got a freezer full. Love it.
I'm-
Jared and his now fiance. Congratulations.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, we haven't even talked
congratulations.
He
about
got
that.
engaged this
Say
week.
Congratulations.
She's great.
Idiot.
She
Surprised
said
she-
yes.
Idiot. What an idiot.
I thought your original
Wait a minute.
message, I forget what it was, back to me, and I was like, Abe's about to talk shit to me for proposing. And then you're like, well, congrats, buddy. But you said, like, what the hell or something. And I'm sitting there with Steph, and I was like, he's about to be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
No, My thing was like typically anytime
It was
any
what
of
I was
us,
saying, but less polished.
yeah, anything that normally goes on in our crew like that, we know about.
That's what I said
Right,
to him. I was
and-
like, dude, no heads
yeah.
up.
Well, I explained to him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at my house.
I told him, I was like, I got the ring for my brother. I'll probably do it when I get home. Like, whatever. Like, whatever.
Whatever.
And you didn't say anything?
I had to go
He
pick up
doesn't
the
care.
boats.
Look
He's
at
not
him.
there either, yeah.
Nice.
love it.
Decent.
Yeah, that's duck hunting. in a nutshell.
Anyways,
Yeah,
You
but-
buy a whole
I-
bunch of stuff, you shoot a few
and
birds,
his-
and it's the best time you ever have.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, and everybody here will get some goosebumps, when a big, giant mallard or something decoys is coming into
Cup
you,
wing.
like
Feet
straight at
hanging.
you right now, wings cupped and feet down, it's 10 yards.
And you miss
you're
all
like,
3 times.
I mean, whatever. And it's just like, this is it. This
So it's
is
like
it.
Pearl Harbor.
It was
You're like
it's-
shooting things out
I
of
think
the sky.
I think the thing about it is,
But
it's a,
when
it's,
it's the everything involved.
Yeah.
The calling,
Yeah.
like here they come. Brr, 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 brr.
the
But they
teal.
circle, and you've worked them in.
Last,
Yeah.
last,
you have fooled
I
a
get that.
duck.
You've fooled
You have fooled a duck. You fooled a wild ass animal to land feet from you,
Right.
and you
that's
just
how the teal
it's-
were.
Yep,
The
absolutely.
teal. We did teal on Grapevine.
Yeah.
Or did we? No.
We did
They
because
can't
nobody
get
could get
permits,
in
who
permits. Yeah.
cares?
They decoyed right into our geese.
From now on,
Like,
we hunt Lake
10 yards from
Tahwahkaro.
him at
and
most.
I thought
And
Jordan
I was
was
like,
going to shoot.
I was
both yelling.
facing you, and they were landed. You
Oh,
were a bush,
yeah.
they landed behind
Shoot
you. I was like,
those
shoot
sons.
those effers! Shoot them! Ouch!
And then, yeah, I got 3 on the water with, I was shooting number 2s, whatever.
Hey,
I took
Don't-
them out.
Okay.
don't
God,
I can see
apologize.
that. I can see the
So
rush. Yeah.
it's
a
like
good rush,
hearing
man.
that whoosh and that noise.
Sounds like an Apache
Like,
helicopter
yeah.
coming
dude,
over when there's a
Oh,
big
it's like you know that adrenaline pump you talked
That was a
about.
good-
You know, like with with the like I still get it. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
when
with hogs,
we
I
went
get it
out
every
last
time.
week,
Yeah.
I think it was, or the week was it last week that we
2
went
weeks.
out, or 2
Pigs?
weeks ago now when we went
2
out.
weeks ago.
2 weeks.
And like that rush of like, oh my god, there's a sounder in right now. I don't know who to shoot right now.
Yeah.
Like, my heart's beating, and then like I can tell I'm shaking a little bit. I'm like, I gotta take the shot. Shot 3 times. I ended up only taking 1 down, but it's still like that's how it is with ducks. It's like just immediate reaction. Like, all right, cool. I'm waiting for someone to call it. I gotta take the shot.
But that happens like multiple times. Where like pigs, you really are gonna get that one time,
Right.
and then it's done. Same thing with deer. You're getting it one time, but with ducks, it could happen 10 times in a day.
times,
I
yeah.
mean,
Awesome.
and to just see, especially in places like when we went up and we Sand Hill Crane hunted, to see that many birds in the sky, and that's really why I want to go to a place. And I know we've talked about like off air, just kind of like my desire to go hunt Arkansas. I really just want to see that many ducks, right?
Yeah.
I want to go to a place where I can see thousands of ducks in the air and just have that experience.
I was telling
and
him earlier,
if it's not,
Rockport. I
Well,
looked
I
up
mean-
videos earlier, and I was
Yeah.
watching duck hunting down in Rockport, and it was just like the sky was peppered.
yeah, it's just to see that kind of a thing. And if it's South Dakota, if it's Colorado, if it's more to the west, if it's wherever we have to go to do that, I just
Yeah.
really want to check that box.
Sweet.
And here, I mean, it's such a social atmosphere.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love deer hunting. I
Yeah.
can't wait for next weekend. I've taken Friday off again. Thursday night I'm hunting Oklahoma. Friday night I'm hunting Oklahoma. Then straight to East Texas for Texas opener. I plan to kill deer next weekend.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But man, opening day at Teal. We get out there stupid early. We're all exhausted. We have coffee. He's got a little bit of whiskey. You get out. You're out at your spot 2 hours early to make sure you get it, the spot you want that we'd
Yeah,
scouted.
because we're public land hunters too.
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
different. I mean, if you're private land, you roll out at
But
15 minutes before sunup, and you're
you
like,
sit
cool.
down,
and-
you put shells in your gun, you drink
Like,
coffee,
yeah.
and you're like, yeah, I guess it's time to shoot things.
yeah,
You pre-made blind.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah,
mean, we're
Your
out there
decoys
early.
are already in the water.
yeah,
We've got-
exactly.
We've got the light bar on. We got an iPhone blaring music. We're drinking coffee, sitting in a marsh at 3 a.m.
I brought a speaker.
There you go. So it's just and you hang out with your buddies.
All right.
Then like, all right, we got an hour till shooting. We should figure this out. We start putting decoys out and setting up spots and cutting brush.
Yeah.
All right, we're 20 minutes out.
And
Then everything starts getting quieter and quieter and
everyone's
quieter.
brushed in, and we're all just talking to each other from the
Yeah,
different
and then
little blinds.
all right, 5 minutes till shooting light, and then usually the last 5 minutes is stone cold silent because everybody's like,
It's still
here
You're-
goes,
yeah,
here
here we go.
goes, here
very
goes.
still.
And then you start hearing what you're talking about. Yep.
And then
That wood
flying
duck.
over, and then once you got the first flight and the first shots off, things get more social.
Austin gets out and moves the decoys.
Yeah, I'm like, decoys are wrong.
Turn that
This ain't
turn
right.
that mojo off.
Mojo's flaring
Turn
them.
the mojo
Mojo's
off.
flaring him.
I've real
Mojo's
bad
flaring.
OCD.
All right.
And he's wrong most of the time,
No doubt.
That's not true. I'm wrong half the time.
Okay.
which is most of the time.
What's half? 0.5?
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't even make sense. But then after that, you're kind of sitting in your spot, you're yelling at each other like, "Hey, you're coming in over your left shoulder,
To the
hi,
right, to the
hi,
right, to the right, yeah.
to the right, to the right." And everybody's kind of watching, like, face down, call them, like somebody can throw a feeder call, and it's interactive, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
We were dancing to Katy Perry the second morning
Yep.
in the marsh. Just, there was
Second
all these
day.
boats
Oh,
around us, like,
sold.
let's
And
be
so,
those people.
Private land's the early one. The later one. Public's the early one.
Same shooting
Yeah,
hours.
you're getting up. Yeah, it's the same shooting hours. It's just you don't have to, like,
Fight for your spot.
if all of us are separate hunters, right? There is no secrets in public land, right? Everybody knows where every is, right? Except if you're just brand new and you're like, well, fuck it, let's go figure. And you're just the asshole driving around trying to figure stuff out, right?
Yeah.
Not that you're an asshole. You're
I
just trying to
scouted,
figure it out,
sure.
right?
I
In the
scouted
moment. In the
you're
moment.
You're just
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. Which
You're the
please.
left-hand
The
driver.
night-
Left-hand lane.
The night before opening day, I was out scouting,
Yeah.
like looking for birds.
Yeah.
Like,
Correct.
this is where we need to be, right?
So, you get out there, but it's like, okay, we need to be there. If this is our number one spot, we know people are going to be there, so you have to beat them there. So that means get up at
Public land.
1:30 in the morning, be in the truck by 2.
We left this house. We left this house at opening morning at 2:30.
Ugh.
Shooting light, 6:45.
and that was to drive to a place that is 5 minutes from
3
here.
minutes
yeah.
from here.
We've been at the boat ramp at 1:30 in the morning, and just been like, all right, well,
Because the deal is, you pack coffee, you pack snacks, you get
Yeah.
out there. I mean, we were laid on the deck of the boat
Yeah.
out there. Just sitting in the water, just like, this is where we need to be.
What
and there are other
sucks-
boats rolling in, like, and we'll kick on the floods, like, nope, we're here, and they turn around.
Because you got to remember,
gotta-
like, most people know what's going on, and
That spot
everybody
ain't secret.
everybody scouts. So, like, if you know what you're doing, then there's probably 6 other dudes at least that want to be in your spot.
yep.
You got to go stick the flag.
So you got to go stick the flag before anyone else gets there. And
You got to shine your lights. You
So
gotta
what about
make
private?
noise.
Private land, you don't have to show up that early, right?
No, I mean,
well,
it's
Because
just
nobody's
there's-
going to be there.
I
Yeah.
did private hunts last year, and I think we got to the little.
I'm not saying which one I
ponds.
prefer, but you know.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
for
There's-
But
yeah.
that's the deal. Is like
Oh, it's
having,
much better waking up
What
at 5 a.m. and getting to your spot.
Yeah.
Like, we're
5 a.m.
in the blind at like 5:45.
But you
at the
also strike me
earliest.
as the kind of guy who is very much a challenge-oriented person.
Oh,
who's
so are you.
Challenge.
Oh,
So
well,
are you, buddy.
No doubt, absolutely.
Let's-
Oh,
let's-
shut up.
Oh!
County
No,
Chain.
you're absolutely right though. It's,
Yeah.
it's like I even resent myself if I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, like no, do feel like
Yeah.
it. Make the effort.
And
Get out
that's-
there
You don't kill ducks
and
on
go
the couch.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And-
And that's what we say to each other all the time. It's like, man, I don't know. I'm tired.
I
It's
know
like,
I'm tired.
Sometimes you just
getting
gotta
up,
challenge
like,
yourself
that Saturday
to
morning
get up.
of opening teal,
Hashtag challenge.
we all left this house at 2:30.
Yeah.
We got back
Golly.
here. We all had a margarita. They left. I took a nap on the couch and came up here and took a nap. And
It does suck
and
for
then-
like a 12 o'clock kickoff time because you're also sound like a football fan,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
too
not
am
so
a
much
football fan.
nowadays.
Hey,
Care
don't
less.
force
That-
your
hey,
ideas on
No,
people.
Sorry.
not so much nowadays.
My bad.
I'm not
I didn't
really a
try
fan
to-
of
yeah, sports are
I-
the
terrible.
NFL.
Let's talk
So-
about hunting.
I care nothing about any sports at all.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I love watching a game on Sunday with a pork butt smoking. That's a blast. I get it.
Sure.
But I'm not really – I don't understand the whole, like, oh, yeah, well, this year we
yeah,
got,
the we exactly.
we got
the we.
the coach
Yeah.
from, southern Mississippi State, and he's track record this and the new guy from – I don't understand that.
I'm a
I do
nerd.
have a fun story. My one and only fantasy football league –
Okay.
my brother-in-law sends this link, like, you got to play like, okay, I'll play. So I get the whole link,
Yeah.
and I open the page. I'm like, I don't have any idea what
Like,
any of
there's
this
thousands
is.
of names here, and I'm
Like,
supposed to
what
pick
am
out.
I so down in the right-hand corner of the page is a little auto-pick button. Like, oh, that looks easy. Click. I push the auto-pick button. I then forget my login.
Yep.
And don't touch it for the whole season.
Yep.
And win the whole thing.
Yep. That's about how it
And
goes.
he was so pissed.
Now I'll tell you, it went the other way in our fantasy baseball league this year
Yep.
because
I won it.
we have a guy who plays fantasy baseball, never logged in, lost, and now has to get a COVID-19 tattoo on his body. So,
Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, no, my one and only foray into fantasy football was auto pick. So
I auto-picked this year as well.
yeah, but I know guys that
It's their life.
and they do the big screen and they have the charts.
They have like a
It's
big party at their house.
I've been
or,
to
like,
that
baseball
before.
Fantasy thing.
I've been to that before. It's insane. It's just here's my thing. They have the same passion for their thing as we do for our thing.
Exactly.
And
Of
and
course.
it's just
One
that's
thing
their
is real
thing.
life.
And we're cooler than.
Hey, look, but it's their thing, and
Stop trying to make it
Spoken
sound like
like
you're
a
cool.
real-
I'm a sports balls, bro. I am it's we. Do you know how excited I am to watch the stars? I watch the
Spoken
stars.
Like a real politician right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
100%, bro.
now
all day, every
I'm
day.
a Cowboys fan from
Yeah.
knee high to little bitty.
No
kid.
matter where you're at, America's team, bro.
Yeah, so always will be, and I love a good game and I love close
Sweet.
games. I like all that stuff, but I don't follow it per se.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was cool. I have been at the parties. I'm sure you all have, where your team starts to lose and the party turns into a morgue.
Yeah,
It's like, guys, really?
Or people,
This is
it
not-
changes people's attitudes in
I
general.
know, and-
Happiness at work. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, we lost yesterday. Like your softball team.
yeah.
Like,
I don't care
no,
about
the
that.
Cowboys.
right.
Like,
But one of the
but
coolest-
you pay them to watch them.
Yeah.
I'll say one of my
What?
one of the coolest experiences
agree.
that I've had in a bar was the night that the Rangers went to their very first World Series. They struck out A-Rod and the Yankees to go to the World Series.
Yep.
I'm in a bar, assholes to elbows, jam-packed, watching a TV, just a small TV up in the corner. It was a little Mexican restaurant in Carrollton. You know where the dart rail is down by your office? Right there? We were in that little Mexican restaurant, like Blue Agave or something.
Yep.
Yeah. And just jam-packed watching that, and it was like, you talk about people who are like,
could get
just
into that,
never,
yeah. I
get it.
you're just
I'm
like,
not
oh my God,
talking-
I turned to this dude, and he turned to me, and it was like, oh my God, oh my God.
You kissed him, didn't you?
Oh, we hugged. We definitely hugged.
Did you hug something with your mouth?
No, I didn't
Bet you
hug
did.
anything with
You
my
little
mouth.
pickle
That's
kisser.
how he
No.
got his drinks. Shh. Listen to the story.
I actually had
Okay,
to.
and I'm not talking
Yeah.
that kind of excitement because
Yeah.
I was big into baseball then too.
Yeah.
That's tangible excitement when
Of course.
that's awesome and like
Yeah.
like I don't know you, let's take shots, like oh my gosh, but we lost.
Dude,
this
I don't
weekend,
do
bro.
that. I don't
Yeah,
like.
it's
I know you don't.
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm saying that's weird to me.
I
It
thought
is.
But
I don't
if you're
get
in a,
it.
if
I don't
you're in a
get it.
setting, I've always said like I care nothing. I severely dislike basketball. Football, I'm neutral. If everybody's watching it and smoking a pork butt and drinking beer, cool.
It's
let's
fun.
hang
It's a
out.
fun time.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
It's
a
cool.
fun time.
No
Be
problem.
together, watch
It's
a game.
and to me, it's camaraderie.
Yeah,
It's nothing to do
absolutely.
with sports.
Totally
But
agree.
I have the same like of doing every Thursday. We all sit down and do this.
Absolutely.
Same thing to me. It's camaraderie. It's hanging out with people and talking to people. So
100%. I agree with you.
I followed soccer, but there was only one reason I followed soccer, and it wasn't for the actual watching the matches.
Because you like to fight. Yeah. You are a hooligan.
Fight in soccer games.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
fight.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
they don't. The fans do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
That
you've
makes
never,
sense.
like, that is the craziest sport.
I knew people that at the FC Dallas games here in Dallas, like barely got to go into the games, let alone like would have a police escort around.
Nice.
It's
Now, like what? Like boxing,
just
No, not
Or
box.
just
I'm not a boxer fan.
MMA.
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
Or-
Muay Thai.
Oh, I need to learn some of that stuff. I'm more traditional stand-up boxer.
That's your guy right there.
yeah.
I Thai box for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I got a heavy bag in the yard right now.
You say the word. I still got my mitts and everything. We can hit pads.
Okay. Yeah, we should do that one of these days.
We are gonna watch the Mike Tyson fight together, right?
Oh, 100%.
I want to throw a big giant
Dude,
party.
I can't believe Roy Jones is getting in the ring with that guy.
Have you seen the
Yes.
clips of Tyson now?
Absolutely.
Tyson's a
He
beast.
will kill a child, much less an old man.
Tyson is still a beast.
Oh,
He,
I
guys,
like
his
Mike
feet-
Tyson.
his feet and the way his torso moves,
Oh.
like
bang! That
He's all
Holy
hyped
shit.
up on that marijuana.
whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
dude.
impressive.
terrifying.
I'm
Vasily Lomachenko.
yeah.
Anybody ever seen that guy?
Yep.
Oh,
Holy shit. That guy hits you when you can't see. And I have never watched a boxer that I enjoy watching that guy more because he punches so fast and has moved around you in that split second where your hands are up and it hits you again before you even know it. It's Vasily Lomachenko. That's how you say it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, close enough.
The Tyson fight excites me. Yeah.
I can't wait to see it, though.
I mean, it's just, that was just, I was a kid when that was happening and it ended. And, my dad was zero into boxing. I never saw a boxing fight until an adult. But Tyson is the legend.
Oh, I mean,
there's
I
lots.
totally agree, dude.
But to do, Lauren's dad and I talked about this. As an 18-year-old boy, he fought professional heavyweight fighters with piles of fights in their 30s and 40s and put them all down like they were a heavy bag that stood in front of him. He was just supposed to hit it.
Yeah, dude. I totally agree.
he's an animal.
I can't. I mean, talking about it, just kind of like,
Dude,
I
he
want
was.
in my lifetime to be able to see Mike Tyson box. Whatever it costs, I'll pay-per-view it. Everybody can come over and chip in if they want. Let's do it.
As a kid, that was the one thing. My dad was huge into boxing.
Absolutely.
And we watched every single big fight like that. They were always on. And, I remember Tyson fights that were you're just like, people were pissed. They paid all that money, and they were over in, like, a round and a half, they're done. And you're like, oh, my God. And you paid all this money for this?
And he also did the knockouts. There wasn't a signature knockout.
Oh,
ever.
Yeah.
He hits
you in the temple.
Whatever opening he found, boom, dead, done.
Yeah, just
over.
a punch to the temple or an uppercut.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tyson Fury these days?
I mean, just
very interesting boxer. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Beast.
I know that name only because he tried professional wrestling for a little while.
I think fighting that guy with his head movements and the way he moves in the ring would be very tough to get a read on what's going to happen next.
I think boxing is it's crazy that it's like trying to find its place again. And it's such a mainstay kind of sport, like such an established thing, but the disruption that MMA caused to it, and it's just now, I feel like it's just now getting its feet kind of back underneath it.
I think Mayweather ruined it.
And
that's where I lost it.
I think it was the establishment of too many
weight classes.
No, not at all. The too many organizations and too many world champions.
Yeah.
If there's 7 professional boxing organizations and 7 world champions, it's watered down. It's nonsense.
Agreed. There's one. It needs to be one thing.
Yeah.
WBA, WBF.
And look at MMA.
MMA,
you've had multiple offshoots, but none of them survived really.
I mean,
then what they did once they started struggling was change rules.
Yeah.
So they were a touch different, and I respect that.
Yep.
But just going toe to toe, fisticuffs, having 3 different organizations. No, man. And I think that's what killed it. Is people so watered down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I have lots of other thoughts on MMA, but I don't want to go down rabbit hole. I think it's gotten, in my opinion, people want to see a fight.
Yeah.
People love boxing for a fight. MMA's become such a ground-heavy sport, which the technical side of it, I can definitely appreciate.
Yeah, it's
having
a chess
spent
match.
spending time with jiu-jitsu guys and stuff. I can absolutely appreciate it, but it's horrible television.
Sure.
It's 2 dudes just going.
You watch a Muay Thai match where people stand and bang.
McGregor fights are pretty fun.
For sure.
Because he stands up.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he stands and bangs.
I enjoy that.
Everybody wants to. I'd love to watch McGregor fight.
Stand-up fights.
But that's a fight.
Yeah, I agree.
A wrestling match,
or
a high-level jiu-jitsu match is, for the educated, is good to watch.
It's like soccer
for the
to me.
general public is a horrible piece of television.
I think it's just like soccer. If you don't know, soccer is like, if you don't get what they're doing, it's terrible to watch.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start to watch it set up and you get what's going on, it is really entertaining to watch a 1-0 match, and it's just very. I think it's once you get to that technical.
It's like rooting
aspect,
for chess.
Yeah.
Like standing on the sidelines of chess, and you're like, oh yeah, and like what people
Rook to A3. Oh my God!
He did it.
Anybody hunted thermal here, real quick? Back to hunting pigs.
Absolutely.
So,
have hunted
a little
thermal before.
tidbit.
We
You
have
probably already
IR.
know this, but at night, I've killed multiples on now every occasion by resisting the urge to shoot immediately after the first shot.
Yeah.
So if you got the wind in your face,
Let 'em
I'll
come
get
back.
up to maybe 25 yards, 30 yards, and blast one right in the head, drop it. On 3 occasions now, the whole group literally will run maybe 50 yards and then stop. Like, what was
What
that?
the fuck was that? Yeah.
That's exactly
They just
right.
spooked off.
So
like,
then just sneak up another 20 yards.
And
And I've killed 3 in the last 3 times I've thermal hunted just by not trying to just like blam and then get on a running pig, blam, and then get on another running
Yeah.
pig and squeezing rounds off. And so you can kill multiples if you just sit there.
yeah.
Just let them be like, what was that? Now, after the third one dies, they're
It's-
going to run.
It's the,
no,
Yeah.
forget this. We're
yeah,
out of here.
they're like, okay,
There's
something's happened
there's
to my
something
friends.
messed up in
I'm
this hood.
so
Yeah.
excited about Brandon.
So AccuFire, somewhat of a sponsor of ours, they're close friends of ours. They're about to come out with their thermal, and it's going to be forward mount, so you can mount it in front of any normal optic you have or
So,
scan with it.
Perfect.
So-
ATN has one of those, but it's not out yet. So AccuFire's bringing one?
Yes.
What's the sensor on it? Do you know?
Yes.
384 or is it a
380
640?
384, I believe.
That's a good one. It is a good one.
It is.
It's better than 120.
So he sent us a
Yeah.
picture. He has it mounted
I
on one of
don't
his
know if it
rifles
is
right
340. It may be 640.
now.
If
It
they're
may
doing a
be.
640, tell them to call
I
me.
think it's a 640.
We'll
Hold
trade a barrel of whiskey.
I think it's a 640 to be honest with you.
So
If
I
it
feel
is,
like-
that's
I feel
serious.
like
That's
he
a
said
really good
640
piece of
when he
glass.
was
Yeah,
here.
I think he said 640 when he's here.
I
It's
always say
badass.
384 because we can always say it's actually better, but I don't want to advertise.
Yeah.
I don't under promise and over deliver. Good
Yeah.
motto to
We're
have.
gonna have
Yes, it
somebody
is.
look it up.
But we will see Brandon tomorrow, and he's bringing a thermal for us to play with.
Oh, easy.
And we're actually going to do a review.
Totally.
We're actually supposed soon as we get some deer down at the farm. The plan is we've got some of their IR, the Noctis V1. He's got the Noctis TR1. Now they've got their thermal. I have Pulsar. You should come and bring your ATN correct thermal,
Yep.
and we should do we want to do an evening at the farm and shoot a bunch of pigs and do a video and compare notes and record a bunch of shit
Yep.
and do a YouTube release of like, all right, here's where things kind of stack up.
Okay.
That's some serious awesome nerdery.
Yeah,
Are
I like
they
it.
AccuFire? Where are they from?
Texas,
Carrollton.
Carrollton.
Man. Do they drink bourbon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure
Well,
it out.
Yeah,
You tell them I have some of that just in case.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brandon's
I know a guy.
Brandon's a good dude.
He's a super good dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we talked about you're back to Tahwahkaro is people can find you. You're at obviously different liquor stores. You got social media stuff you guys are doing,
Big time.
anything like that.
Yep. Yeah.
So
all the
where can people find you?
So, oh man, I don't know the Tahwahkaro hashtag. I don't know how that works.
Let's look.
Type that in.
Let's see real quick.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Yeah, we
I don't
like
know
your
what.
Instagram
I still
posts,
don't
we
know
follow
what
you.
Twitter is. I don't understand what that is or what the point of it is.
It's some bird.
Sounds
I mean, we're
we're
we're sorta on
I
it,
know
but
people
never do
use it,
anything.
so yeah,
Just
you know,
it's just at Tahwahkaro.
yeah, that's what I said,
T-A-H-
right?
WAHKARO.
Yeah, Tahwahkaro.
Look in the show notes if you're listening. It'll be there.
Thanks.
We'll post about it. Also,
Yes.
you can find it pretty easy through
Yeah.
us.
So we're on all those platforms, and I think we're doing a giveaway right now. By the
You
way,
are.
we are doing a giveaway. So we just got some new hats in, T-shirt, and some fun things on that one. So definitely hit us up and say hi there. By the way, tours are kicking back off, so please check our schedule for tours. We'd love to see you guys down at the
Schedule
shop.
on the website.
On the website,
On
yeah.
the website. Okay, cool.
Website for tours. We'd love to say hi and show you why we do what we do, why we
North
think it's
Texas
important.
friends, yeah.
Yep. And why we love what we do. So
I'm super excited about going. I've not been to a lot of. I've been to the Jack Daniel's distillery. I've been to the George Dickel distillery, and I've been to the Coors Brewery,
Cool.
and I've been to Legal Draft Brewery.
Yeah.
So a little bit different scales,
Yeah,
from
sure.
legal to
Wow.
Coors. When you
Coors.
look through a room and they're like, that black is just because that's where light stops. It doesn't stop there, But I mean, I would love to come see a distillery
Yeah, man.
like that and just see the, just the it's just like anything, just the personal touch that you have on things versus somebody like Jack Daniels who's just turning out
Sure.
gallons, and there's just nobody who's, it's just quantity over quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Come say hi. We're there. 8 days a week,
yeah,
it
man.
seems. So, yeah.
Yeah, you guys heard it. Check out the website for tours. Check them out on the Instagram. They're doing a giveaway right now. Maybe it'll be done whenever this is out.
When's the
It's on the website.
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys just follow
I mean,
on
it's on
Instagram
the
to
other,
keep up
whatever
with
it
the
was.
guys.
Check out their
the other one.
Instagram.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the details are on there. I've seen it. It's
Thank
there
you. Perfect.
for sure.
Shit, yeah.
Stormwater Creek is the best. Grinch, the captain. Aim, the helper. Jordan, the problem solver. I hope you like Stormwater Creek. Stormwater Creek.